Check, check, check. No. I should hear something. Check, check, check. No. Yay. I should hear something. Okay. Check, test, test, test. Hello, hello, hello. Test, test. Hello, hello, hello. Nice. Me likey. What the fuck's going on here, though? Yay. Cool. We're going, we're going. Is this up? Close. Yeah, buddy. Hello, hello. Close. Yeah, buddy. Hello, hello. Close. Great. This is working. There's only one. The fuck is going on here? Can I view? Celebrate. The delay is really funny though, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool.
It can happen. That
Imagine being able to build an app with your name just by thinking about it. Meet
Fucking ads, bruh.
here at the Munich Major in the B stream. Good luck, have fun comes out in the chat as we start loading up into Bank with D plus Kia taking on Furia in this best of one to kick off our Swiss phase.
Now, Fall's been our man that we've spoken to during the player interviews over in the APL. He's very humble, very hard guy to hate despite the import roster. And he had a lot of praise about the organization of D plus Kia, saying, thank you guys so much for the support, want to do a good job for you guys, get first in our region, go to essential tournaments, and get good results for you. And I'm not sure if D plus are treating this matchup very differently than the norm, because when you play an APL as a Brazilian team, you don't know your opponents. That was the big talking point. They don't know the meta, the style, the maps, their opponents at all, but they know Furia. So this could be more of a, familiarity, counter-stratting, and, that same Brazilian playstyle. We see it right now. There's Portuguese in in-game chat. Because why not?
It's funny. D plus started talking to Furia in English, and then Furia, of course, replied.
That's classic Furia, by the way. JV will tell you, if you meet him, no English, and then you'll hear him speak perfect English, but not when he wants to.
No, yeah, he's very selective about it, that's for sure. Now, D plus Kia, while they have been scrimming and playing in Korea for the longest time, they did after the APAC major qualifier in Melbourne at PAX, they went over to Brazil again. So they have, in theory, been scrimming quite some time. And yeah, they've probably been scrimming Furia a whole bunch. As we get into it, they will start on the attacking side. It's Furia on the D, and they're going all the way down to the basement. And already I'm seeing the Monty teased out by D+. Ban phase has flown by us, and I mean, nothing too crazy, but I like the vibe that's going on. A few kind of curveballs thrown in there.
The big announcement right now is going to be the Twitch ban from Fury, because they're bringing out both the Goyo and the Echo, and that's where the Twitch counterplay can usually come into action. The drone gets tossed in a drone hole, sneaking to the bomb side, and takes down a bunch of utility. Fury are playing a very structured first round here, saying, first game jitters, let's all get situated. What's going to happen? Often the attackers were a bit more slow than usual because they're warming up into this tournament. So they're playing utility, they're playing the timer on the clock. Tashanka, Smoke, Echo, and the Goyo. They're known to crutch the Monty when things are uncertain for them. I think it's a great first round pick for them here.
Yeah, obviously that Echo very deadly against that Monty. Can expose him. And so looks like D+ are starting on the top floor. It's quite a heavy extension into into open area. Yeah, strange to see Philippox on the Echo actually on that roam, because he's going to want to be on his cameras a lot of the time. He's going to be a bit more vulnerable. But Levy's taking the ground that is given to him in lobby, already opening up hatches. A lot of phantom pressure applied here, which I like. And a pick to follow it up as well onto Nade. That's your plant denial from the Tachanka.
It's going to buy you so much time. I actually kind of like the fact that Philippox was roaming, because being on the bomb side on cams can, you know, make you vulnerable to a rush. Instead, he was actively on the roam. But now they've fallen back, and this is D+ making an incredible pace. They got server control, they cleared the server stairs, got opening pick onto Shanga, and now they have full map roam clear as Furia fell on back by their own choice. Now we gotta see Nears call the shots right from the Monty, saying, guys, get open those hatches, breach these certain walls, and trying to establish where is the plant going to be going down. We got a half round to play with. Don't rush it, just take your time.
Oh, this is really excellent time management from D+. Fury attempted to try and get a little bit aggressive. KZ, though, is punished for it. Herds looking for an opportunity.
Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, that is really awkward for Midi. He exposes himself and is punished as he tries to breach that site wall for the default plant spot. The first kill for Fury to try and bring things back.
The Monty not watching, the hatch not open yet. That's Mitty going a little bit too quickly in the server right there. And you see Fury's aggression. They recognize strategically it's going to be a hard run. It's trying to win those gunfights instead. JV's been so hot on stage 2, but goes down to Bullet with that DMR.
DMR keen on the stairs for Bullet, but he's just flank watch at the moment. Philippox forced to try and retake, and he does find that kill. Plant is going down, not denied. Herds looks to get around it, get aggressive.
No.
He sprints straight past him and whips him back.
Winnable.
Maybe it just is winnable in the retake. 2v2. And there's an opportunity here for Herds to try and long arm this.
See it.
Is anybody from D+ in position? Falls, drops down, and takes him out. Philippox on his big flank, all the way back into server, and Levy finds him as well. Fire up D+. They've taken the first round against the big dogs from Brazil.
Really well played there by both the teams, actually. So Fury opted for a retake, right? Philippox went up the main staircase to top floor and was holding top square. That meant Nade on the bomb side could push on through and shotgun open the soft wall and start defusing. Philippox had the hatch above him, but on the flip side, D+, they took the bomb side control, right? They walked into garage, down main stairs, down D+, they took the bomb side control, right? They walked into garage, down main stairs, down D+, they took control, right? They walked into garage, down main stairs, down
Test, test, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Mic, mic. Test, test, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Mic, check, check, hello, hello. Mic, check, check, hello, hello. Maybe a little bit higher. That's it. That should be good.
on the hatches, and they held it from a different angle. Ended up winning that round in the post. On the hatches, but I really want to praise D+ there. I was worried they were going to be very slow in the roam clear. Opening kill, ton of map control, and never slowing down. And they were fighting back, successfully against Furious Aggression. It's a great start for them.
It is.
I mean, mind you this, D+, yes, they went back to Brazil to scrim recently. Good timing for them. But they've spent the majority of the year in Korea or in APL, right? And they've been fighting against much quote-unquote weaker team, Aper, especially compared to Fury.
Also a different playstyle as well, which is something that Falls actually mentioned a lot in his interviews.
Yeah.
I know it's something that Psycho talked about, who, of course, another Brazilian who's infiltrated APAC.
Whoa. They didn't do as good though.
No, they didn't.
And that was, I thought it was going to be Elevate, taking D+'s spot, making, qualifying to lands and stuff like that.
Yeah, no. On paper, though, I think a lot of people looked at Elevate. I mean, you've got the world champion Psycho leading that roster. Also, Elevate constantly just buying new players when the team isn't looking good enough. They're like upgrading. Who was it? Was it Resets they got?
Resets,
yeah, that's right. Obviously, former Team Liquid player. Not to snuff at the D+ roster. We've got Bullet, obviously, who played on FaZe, and the rest of this team has played at majors and international events before. It's not new for all of them.
No, but arguably smaller names, right? Like if you're a fan of Siege, you're probably going to have more players you recognize from Elevate than D+, and that's going to be the eye test.
One thing to mention, actually, which I made a note about, but I forgot to mention before the game started, is actually Nears and Midi are the only two players at the tournament making their international debut.
Oh.
Midi has been to 2 SIs and 3 majors as a coach for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but never as a player. This is his first time competing
Oh, Levy's been playing since 2017. Levy is the first one to find an opening kill. JV
Again.
suffers an early death, and here comes the aggression. Look at that from Mini. He's been in the scene for a long time, but now he's here in the server and ready to deal some damage. It's a near flawless round for D+, as Hertz tries to make his way back up this main stairs. And he is eliminated. What a show from Mini. And what a star-studded roster of D+, swinging into Bank with 2 rounds straight.
You could almost say this might be the APAC special from D+, kind of just playing kind of chaotic in the server, but very structured at the same time. It's chaotic because they're hitting their marks in the server at a very unpredictable time, but they're doing it so well together with the 3-2-1 that's all exploded at the exact same moment, and a tech timeout from the former world champions of Furia.
Yeah,
Not what I expected.
no, not at all. Definitely a surprising start here. And Igor will call the tactical timeout for Furia and start getting into the ears of the players. What's going wrong? The only thing I can assume is perhaps it's a bit of an underestimation of D+
Could be, yeah.
and their play style. I mean, D+ have shown that they're happy to play slow and steady, right? You know, early execute onto the roam in that first round, and then
Yeah.
really slow and thorough mid-round, where they're aware of Furia making aggressive plays, and they just convert their advantage bit by bit. Very different to what happened in that second round. It's opening pick, and then we see an opportunity go.
I mean, if you want to, you know, sniff the copium, this is Bank attacking side, which you can always say it's a lot easier and you have much more ways to break apart the defenders. But I'll always come back to the argument that this is Furia. I don't think side choice matters in this case all that much. This is a complete like vibe check from memory. I feel like Furia have tended to, similar to Falcons actually, very slow starts to events, if not mistaken, where they might win a match but they'll lose the first couple of rounds and come back 7-5, 7-4 maybe. I do feel like they have a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, but they're one of the best teams at adapting as well.
Yes.
And once they find their swing, they are a very hard team to slow down.
That's it.
Because that confident play style. But you know, it's been 2 rounds in a row where the opening pick has been found by Levy on D+. And pretty early on as well, both times. A minute in the first round and a minute and 5 seconds in the second round. It's also, you know, worth mentioning, like you said, Bank is an attacker's paradise. It's hard to find a solid defense on this map. I'm looking at the stats at the moment. Bank is the 2nd highest attacker win rate in the last 3 months. Actually, Chalet takes the cake at 53%, Bank at 50%. Okay.
Filmora 15 understands your intent, dissolving the space between thought and action. With AI Extend, those almost moments find their perfect continuation. Even text transforms, breathing life into your message. Dual timeline editing. This is Wondershare Filmora, powered by AI. Edit as an expert.
The most wanted pitbull shavers. Faster and smoother. Grab it this early bird sale. Shop today at skullshaver.com.
It's not too surprising. Now, one thing that D-Buzz have done a really good job at, which they didn't do in Stage 1 and that one in Stage 2, is they've been flexing different operators, right? They had Ying, they had Capital, they had the Muncie, they had Blackit, and they have like Raora.
Gunshots are fucking
This is
around.
gonna mean that after this round, when Furia has to be a 3rd operator ban, there's no clear vision of like what's the problem, because it was Nuke on
You
last
see how
round,
this
for
shit
example,
test,
with the
test,
Capital
test,
Ying.
test,
It was
1, 2,
Muncie
1,
in the
2,
1st
1,
round,
2, 1,
and
2,
now
1,
it
2,
could
1,
be
2,
with
1, 2,
the
test,
Blackbeard.
test,
It was
1, 2,
Muncie
1, 2,
keeping
1, 2,
Furia
1, 2,
guessing
1,
as to
2,
what the
1, 2,
overall game story is gonna be, but I think
Hey,
they have the
these are
correct
good.
read here.
Fuck, am I
Philippox
still doing
watching
that?
that main staircase where Nuke snuck in before.
Just late
This
as
time it's a
hell.
lion.
A little bit of lurking. Bullet finds the kill anyway. That DMR so deadly, and Philippox goes down. Meanwhile, D+ have put a lot of attention on the bomb site. They're clearing out the Vulcan canisters. There's the trade from JV. The nade doesn't find anything for Bullet. He's put down. And a reply. It's an aggressive execute into the site for Falls. With the Blackbeard
How's this
shield
team
on the
doing so
back.
good?
Oh, he's spotted by JV. What a shot there with the slug shotty. Nias tries to bring it back again, but JV rounds the corner. Him and Nade together get that site on lock. And 3rd time is not the charm for D+. JV has a nuclear round, and Furia
That's
finally get back
crazy.
into it.
JV finally staying alive. And I mean, I gotta say, some of these gunfights are a little bit uncharacteristic for Fury. Like Philip Pox in that very first one only hit one of his 4 slug shells on the Kaid, missing a lot of those quote-unquote easy to hit shots. Doesn't happen all that often. Third operator ban. I'm very curious. What does Fury feel like could be the problem? Has been an issue for them. It's gonna be the Muncie. And I think when you look at the 3-4 different operators that they could have banned out, the Dokkaebi, the Blackbeard, the Ying, the Capsule, the Muncie, it's 5 actually. Muncie is the safest bet because they can always crouch it if things aren't working out. It's good for planting, it's good for roam clear. Muncie is probably one of the most versatile attackers. It's a great choice. On the flip side, D+ got rid of the Mira, which is more useful to hide behind. Castle, Flash, and Dagger.
So many different options. Well, like you said, Furia, they take their time to warm up sometimes, but once they find it, that momentum does not go away. It's back down to the basement with more or less the exact same setup that we saw from them in the first round. Again, we've got plan denial for days. The Goyo is actually gone. I think it's KZ's army that's in place instead of it.
Yeah.
So a little bit less plan denial, but I mean, between Smoke, Echo, and Tachanka, I think you'll be alright.
I think it's a good choice because of 2 reasons. One, they kind of lost the game on the roam previous, right? They lost a player and then it's a fallback. And now, okay, they can strengthen the roam with the Asami. That's one part of it. The other one is Muncie is gone. It's going to be more difficult to work through the map for D+. And I feel like the counterplay here could be like Deimos Dokkaebi. But that's going to be a lot of roam clear, not that much side focus. So they got the Deimos, which is going to be great for the roam, like I mentioned. But then they have 4 other operators that can deal with the side later on. So again, both teams doing a great job understanding what these operator bands have changed.
Yeah, I love that. No mirror to worry about as well is nice for D+. It's just less ingredients that you can need to bring, especially, of course, another operator that the Twitch would counter had she not been banned out. What is going on, Levy? I mean, D+, I admire how fast they are, but it's critical that you don't make mistakes like that.
Yeah.
The big risk, I mean, it was either a missed drone or a calculated risk.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to see where the drones might be from D+, and there's, first of all, almost no drones left in the server. Second of all, I don't see anybody spectating drones that would be where Levy died. So they might have thought, guys, it's an open air roam just like last time, same positions, except KC not being the Goyo found himself in an off angle and now gets the freebie. And that's Ibana gone. That means the hard destruction is going to take a lot longer and just be more limited. You have Maverick and then 2 can openers now. That means something will stay closed. And look at the timer. At this point last time, they were inside the bomb site. Well, they're almost there now.
That helps. Quick E1D and an entry from Niers. Re-aggressed upon by the Yokai. Niers doesn't manage to spot it and take it down just yet. Out comes the track from the Deimos. Bit of info. And maybe D+ have made up for the early mistake with a lot of ground taken. And like you said, they do have enough hard breach to get open this hatch and everything they would need to. It's just going to take a little bit longer than they'd like.
Yeah, the server walls are soft, which is going to mean they do have enough. If they were all reinforced, then different story there. But my worry is not so much the destruction at this point in time, it's where do you plant? The only real option right now is you're gonna smoke and camps on fire and try and plant somewhere in the midst of that smoke. But you got Echo, you got Tachanka, you got very limited time to work with. And again, lack of soft destruction means Deimos Pistol to take a lot of time right now to open up the default plant location. And a default plant will not be possible unless Nate misses every single fire from Tachanka.
Yeah, Nate can single-handedly win this round.
Yeah.
So it comes down to D+ having to get a little bit aggressive to take him down somehow. Bullet does that and finds KZ. Falls is the one with the diffuser, and he's actually above the hatch. He's not in the default plan position, so D+ are going to need to go for something a little bit unorthodox, a little bit aggressive, jumping down the hatch.
There's the smokes.
Here come the smokes from the Maverick. You can't fire up everywhere. Oh, Felipox takes a lot of damage and is taken down. JV finds one, thankfully, for Furia. And Falls, well, he's likely to be spotted through the smoke. JV will finish him off. And Nate will claim the final kill. Goodbye to D+. And 2 rounds in a row for Furia.
Major, so
they're looking a lot more comfortable than at the start of this game.
Yeah, good composure there. Nobody panicking the server, but then again, Furia not the team to panic almost ever. And it looks like after attack time on that 3rd operator ban of the Muncie, this could just be the switch around that we almost expect with those slow starts of theirs, but I want to see D+. Do they have more of those pocket strats up in their sleeves? Because first 3 rounds, they had their things happening. That 4th round was the same as the first one, except there was no money. I didn't see anything different.
Yeah, that's the thing. D+, they have clearly shown this game that they like to go really fast.
Yeah.
They like to be really unpredictable. The problem is, when you start playing unpredictably,
Every round.
predictable.
Yeah. It's about pace chasing, right? Like, a good team can play really well fast or really well slow. A great team can go fast this round, slow the next one, in middle, then spawn peak, then no spawn peaks. And you can buy all these small victories in a round of siege. Whether it's as a defender, killing a bunch of drones early on, now the attackers have little information. Going for a spawn peak for, let's say, 2 rounds in a row, and then you never do it again. But guess what that spawn peak effect has? The attackers are always watching the windows. They're not sprinting towards the building. Yeah, phantom pressure, right? They're gonna be spending 10 seconds longer getting to the building. In 10 seconds here and there, that can really add up. Especially with like all the plant denial that we keep seeing, and now wall denial.
Yeah.
Kai Tubra on Bang on top floor in 2025?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I really love the way that Furia, they will double down on a certain aspect of their defense, whether it's plant denial or wall denial in this case, but then they won't like quadruple down on it like they did in the first round where they also had the Goyle on top of the Tachanka Echo Smoke.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
4 out of your 5 operators are on 1 win condition, and then D+ kind of nullified it by playing really fast in the early game. Right? This time Furia, they've hedged their bets, and yet they're still really, like, when it comes to plant denial, they've got it unlocked. When it comes to info, they've got that unlocked. When it comes to wall denial, like, good luck.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. It also means D+ in the first 6 seconds, they're all outside the building, now right into square because they can't figure out what's going to be the first angle for us. Thermocharge far left, he's going to open up the Genesis wall as well, and apply more pressure onto the player inside of there, but there we see Tubrau. Now the Kai Claws, I believe, have both been pre-placed, so I'm not sure they can stop this, but they can stall it out for as long as possible, maybe get a cheeky C4 kill. They hit the wall though, doesn't get the charge.
Be a very deep angle now, but Herds with a DMR, one of the best operators to try and deal with this position, best weapons. Mini might just die.
Maybe this could be a final attempt.
Surely not. Paul's going to go for it
No
straight
warning.
away. Where is Philippox? He's not going to be able to be on his camera because the Dokubi forcing him off his observation tool. Falls is going to plant in the
Perfect.
5v5. A quick and early plant for D+, and he doubles down with a kill on KZ. How is Furia going to retake this? 1 kill at a
Oh,
time,
how are they so
perhaps, but
good?
with Niers up above the hatch, with full vision onto that plant
Who's on
spot,
this team?
I would say that this is an impossible retake
I don't
for
recognize
Furia.
any.
You got to play below lane with the DMRs. They got so many different post-plant
Crazy.
positions right now, and JB finds another though. But look at this scout angle. Do they have to
There's
read
no
on
way.
it?
One
don't
tap
need it.
from Niers. Goodbye to Nade. JV is
outside.
way outside the building after going for the run out. He's not going to be anywhere near the diffuser, and that's going to be the round in the bag for D+. A beautiful pocket strat, done to perfection, and D+ are back in the lead on Bank.
That's exactly what I wanted to see when I said, do they have
This is
one
like
more
a-
of those
this is
strats
like a
up
new
their sleeve?
young
It was
team or
executed
something, I
perfectly.
feel.
And again, the understanding for D+ to know what problems might arise. Well, okay, if they have Pantanal like the Echo, how can we stop it? Dokubi. They're not gonna play mute top floor, no chance. What happens to the type Kai Tubra rather? We're patient. Let's just like really join it on out. And the plant position was perfect. Most teams plant left-hand side of the breach, which means you can see from the window repels, but not the skylight. They plant far right, now verticality on the window repels and skylight. 3 win conditions. It can't go wrong.
Totally. And you know what's also great here is that we've obviously casted a lot of D+. Have played some of the most games out of any teams in the world because of the format of the APL.
Yeah.
I have not seen these exact strats.
We haven't. No.
Not once.
We've seen the top execute where you do like a sense and a glass and stuff like that, but we haven't seen this specific instance
that
of it.
specific
No.
plant spot. Often there's a lot more baiting out, fake
Yeah.
executes, but they're just going for it. And so Furia, with all of their, their whole team of analysts and coaching staff, because they do have quite a few. Got
Yeah.
Abreu, I believe, as their analyst or assistant coach. I'm not sure exactly which title he takes, and of course Eagle and all the shit. You've got the ability to watch every single VOD, look at every single strat, tell the team guys be aware of this, be aware of that, be aware of this. And there are counters to a lot of what was going on there.
Sure,
but you have to think of them in the moment. For example, when that Dokkaebi call goes off, you said there's no mute. You do have the Tubarão. Technically, Furia could have thrown a Tubarão canister at the Echo to prevent that call from going off, and then he gets through the cameras and denies the plan with Echo.
That's entirely possible.
But how are you going to know that if you're not expecting that push in that moment? You have a window of 7 seconds to deny the plan.
Yeah.
And D+, keeping it fresh, keeping it quick. They're playing games with Furia.
It's gonna anchor them though. And you know this. And when you anchor the lion,
They're that
it's gonna
good?
start to roar. The panther in this game, I guess, yeah.
I mean,
They're
it's
gonna
still close.
make a play. You know it. They played their plant denial, they played the wall denial. Now they're looking for kills. JV is 8-3. He's really stepping up individually, but no one else is close to positive. 2-5, 2-5, 2-4. 2-3 from Nate.
Ooh.
Oh, the save there from Falls. Nears is 1 point of health now, has to worry about the Goyo canisters and any sort of impact grenades and C4s. And Furia keeps playing on those window repels, and they're losing those fights, as they should.
The ego challenge, and that's got to hurt. Hurts for sure.
So good, so good, so good. I got what
Niers, though, very low HP means that he's going to have to play very passively. I like the way Fury have doubled down on info denial here, but somehow there's an angle there for Bullet. He takes JV down, and this should be a very easy kill for him as well. Even though Philippox is trying to reply, they've got the read on that. They nade him on out. It is a 2 versus 5. Oh, maybe they can revive JV. This is going to have to be so quick. It baits him. Nade's going to try and double down on that, but Bullet takes him down as well. It's a 1v5 becoming a 1v4. Nade, what can you do here? Niers is low HP. You find Levy, but he finds you first.
Wow.
It's a lock-in for D+. 4 rounds in the first half as they say goodbye to their attacks and move on to defense.
A very different attack there over D+, right? Like, well, they weren't really that aggressive. They were almost expecting Furia to make the wrong play, to Eagle challenge, and they were just waiting for them. Blitz, the only character that walked in the building, everyone else covering angles, the flanks, the staircases. Even when you saw the Mossy on the main stairs, there was a red ping and a grenade coming for him right when he showed himself. Like, they're just striking everywhere right now for D+. That's going to be the bank attacks done and dusted. Sideswap happens. But if D+, with this 4-2 success, they just need a pocket strat here and clocks there, and they're going to get closer and closer to a BO1 victory against Furia.
It would be huge. I mean, Furia have only lost 1 game in the entirety of Stage 2, and there's an asterisk next to that because it was the final game of their group stage in the South America League. It was against Team Liquid. They lost pretty handily, 7-2, but Furia had already confirmed that they would make it to the top 2 in the league, which means they would get the preferred seeding moving into the playoffs. Once they got to playoffs, didn't drop a series, right? So the only loss that Furia have had so far is one that didn't matter. And this game does matter. Yes, it's the opening game of Swiss here, but you get an advantage if you go 3-0. And look, if you did a poll of 100 people that loved watching Rainbow Six, and you said, okay, who are your teams that are going to make it 3-0? I reckon like 80-90% of those people are going to be saying that Furia is making it through undefeated into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, most people at Furia probably making top 4 guaranteed in their minds, I would say, just like, period.
They're arguably the favorites for the tournament.
They very well might be, given G2 Secret situation, Falcons. Yeah, I mean,
G2 Secret Falcons are obviously all very good teams at the moment. Secret winning EWC, but Furia won in Rio, which was a bit of a different situation. I mean, Furia got the number of FaZe in Rio. They were beating them. I think those are kind of 5 of your top teams. Perhaps you add M80 into that.
That's my dark horse, so to speak, actually. I have M80 making top 4.
I love how, like, becoming champions in North America, you still count as a dark horse.
Yeah, cause, it's North America still, James. And as a region for a decent time, they look so good. And then you go to Asia, they get top 8, but then they kind of out of the tournament,
I was listening to Parker's 6on6 podcast with Fett and Mint recently, and they were talking about the NA championships. Obviously, all NA boys there. I think the only NA championships that have been won would obviously be the Beast Coast Championship in Manchester. Before that, I think it was TSM, SI22, and then SSG, SI20.
Dark
and then
Zero, which was in which is Charlotte. first
Yes,
after COVID.
okay. Not as many nearly as EU and Brazil, of course.
Yeah.
A lot more than APAC though, sadly.
For now,
One day it'll happen.
one day.
Maybe we just needed to import some Brazilians. Maybe D+ will take the championship.
I mean, okay, so D+ win a major. Do you claim an APAC victory?
As someone who's been following APAC Siege since before Pro League started, in 2017, 2016, I would not count that as an APAC.
I wouldn't either. But it
Technically,
would
their
be.
coach is Korean.
There would be a Korean champion. Yeah, there would be that.
What's the
We
point
already
in
have
doing
had
that?
APAC players be champions. We've had virtual.
Yeah,
of
Virgil,
course.
yeah.
Why are they maving
That
it?
is very true.
And
Now
then,
for this round though, it's kind of a bit of a not much happening.
Oh,
There was a
because it's
few bullets
electric
exchanged early on. That's why Levy and JV are low on health. There's been hard destruction. Furia, look at the lineup. They want to get to bomb site in a 5v5. That is what this is screaming, right?
Oh yeah.
Defuse, the campus on the glass, a quick hatch drop, clash by the main stairs, gonna stop that pushing forward, and
Clash
Macy
is
strikes
gonna cook
first.
him. There's no way. Like,
He has diffuser. If he dies here,
oh, here we go. The fire supports from Herds, but Furia are trailing in the numbers as KZ just went down, and now they're stuck in a crossfire. Nice shot onto midi though from Herds. JV is looking to backstab from the other side. He is going to be completely solo on server, and a big nitro cell from Falls finds the double.
Holy
JV in a
shit.
1v3 as D+ sit back, relax, knowing that they've got the
Why would
diffuser.
he
Good
jump
one
down there,
tap
though?
from the man himself. About to hit double digits for JV. It would be a clutch to remember. He's got to deal
the
with that clash. Who is staring him down,
fuck.
tasing him out. Both Nias and Levy on low HP. His flashbangs go out. Nice
no
shots
way.
onto Levy.
got time.
JV in the 1v1, and he can certainly make it happen. It's a monstrous clutch for JV. 1v3
what the
for
fuck?
Furia
With the clash?
as the gunner himself
That's insane.
puts D+ down. More questions asked now, and that lead is slipping.
JV has been so good throughout the entirety of stage 2. He's gotten kills in this game, but not really impactful. But that round, yes, JV, a small gap was created there by D+, allowing
Bro,
in
what
the
the
A-bomb
fuck?
site.
That's
But then
crazy.
JV takes full control. And D+, you
Insane.
can tell, they're feeling comfortable, they're feeling mighty in the server. They were over-swinging. There is no reason why the guy in Garage Ramp is actively trying to take a gunfight. When you just walk away, play the time, there's 15 seconds
Should be
left,
basically
right?
hiding.
You
at that
arguably
point.
should, but I don't blame D+ because they've been winning off the aggression, they've been winning off playing together, and they were trying to play the 2v1 with the clash information. But it was JV, the one guy from Fury that I believe right now could win that round, and he does exactly that.
Yeah, JV has been incredible in stage 2. He's the 5th highest rated player in the world.
Playing
at
in
the
Brazil,
moment.
the
Well,
hardest region.
Exactly. Number one, actually. Number 1 and 2 didn't qualify for the tournament. Number 1 is Maya, strangely.
Okay.
Number 2 being Jigsaw from the Chiefs, playing over in OCE, and then you got Reaps, Tuhan, and then JV. So it's funnily enough, it's all Brazilian APAC players in the top 6, even because Crit J comes after JV.
So that was a big story we had in APL where it's been like the battle of individual players. Like 20 bombs are being dropped every play day by various players. They said Crit J, Tuhan, Jiggy, Jigsaw.
You just tight like that.
Yeah, I like the Jiggy. I don't know.
Oof.
What is going on from Herds? Very aggressive. 35 seconds into the round.
That was giving Levy vibes in the third round.
That was.
Just in the
Yeah,
building.
you should have won that.
Levy died as still could be. Hertz dies as Capital, both high in utility that will no longer be played this round. And I think for Furia, like, the simplest way to kind of talk about this BL1 thus far, the battle of the opening kills. They are almost every single round playing 4v5 and trying to make a comeback happen. Half the time, it works. But you got to wonder, if Furia could tighten up in the first 60 seconds of the rounds, how different the score could have been.
No, definitely. D+ is off-piece pace. Made things very difficult to read in Furia. I mean, the fact that they only have this third round because of that big clutch from JV, I mean, look, it's great. You look at the kill counts on both teams, you're like, damn, JV is he's by far and away the best player
guess
in
you
the
need the
server right
map
now, but that
to
doesn't
open it
mean that you're going to be
regardless
the winning
of-
team. Like, that's not how this game works, and APL is a good example of that. The fact that Maya and Jigsaw, the top 2 rated players in the world, and neither of them qualified for Munich, I mean, that speaks volumes to how much Siege is a team game.
Yeah.
The global phenomenon Dungeons & Dragons is now live on stage, featuring new technology that allows the audience to choose their path in real time.
No.
And it just goes to show here as well, JV cannot take server stairs on his lonesome, shouldn't be possible. KC should not be able to take garage control on his lonesome, but his teammates of Hertz was dead. Can watch the camera form and relay the information.
He sees his foot.
And he's got a DMR. It's a great time to have this weapon.
Galloping that. Ooh, this is very risky. Can't land the shots until he does, and then Bully goes down. 3v4 as D+ are trading back and forth.
Holy shit.
JV trying to drop. It's an awkward angle. He's not going to be able to aim down sights while he falls. He somehow times it perfectly. He dances around.
Are you
and Levy
kidding
goes
me?
down. 3v3 as JV hits a 3.0 KD with his 12th kill.
Crawl.
30 seconds to play.
You're not
D+
down with crawl, bro.
look to not repeat the mistakes of last round.
Gotta let Morgan have that crossfire. There it is, double swing, much better played. Where's
do that,
Felipox and
bro.
KC? Just now dropping.
It's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Furia not in sync as a team, and as a result, it allows Niers, the debutant, to come through for 2 big kills. Midi,
No bullets.
oh, he's run out of
Oh,
shots,
no.
and Midi will take him on down. Another round on the board
That's unlucky.
for the Korean
Very
organization.
unlucky.
Just 2 more, and they take
Korean
down
organization?
Furia.
And now we have to wonder, you know, with that clutch before, that could have been a 6-2. It should have been a 6-2. And I gotta say, that final like 3v3,
That's
JV
crazy.
pushing through, making the play, getting fought from 2 different angles. Okay, where's his teammates? Open area, on the hatch, passive, not dropping, not fighting, not even looking ready for an execute.
So out of sync.
So, and this is so unlike Fury as well. Their aggression usually is together. The timings are tight. It's been some gaps here in Fury's gameplay. If it wasn't for JV, this probably would, I mean, this would have been over.
Absolutely.
6-7-1 probably.
Yeah. And did you see the looks on their faces after that round as
Not
well?
a lot of
I
energy.
mean, Made not looking happy. Hertz looked shocked.
Yeah.
His face red
pissed.
with
And now,
anger.
and now he's on Thermite, dude.
I
Like,
know,
I
and-
would be super shocked if I was him.
Dude, I mean, like, you look at the roles of this roster, and Herds is the entry.
Yeah.
KZ and JV are described as entry flexes.
Yeah.
And how is it JV that's doing all the work here? I mean, even KZ himself, 5 and 8, Hertz 3 and 7. These are meant to be the tip of your spear for the roster. Even JV has a bit more of a supportive role in this game, at least. He's doing this based on clutches. It's not a good look for Furia at all. And what adds insult to injury is they took that tactical timeout when there was 0-2 down. Eaglet doesn't have a chance to reel the boys back in.
Do not. And I'm very sure that D+ have such a good understanding of how the Men's of Fury work because you know they're both from Brazil, from the players. They should know each other quite well, I imagine, because they scrim so much. Yeah, the gap is not that big, Mr. KC, so you gotta find a different angle for that. Kali lands. Try and deal with the utility pieces first. So Furia's attack inside is very different from that of D+. Furia, step 1, step 2, step 3. Oh, now we can execute, for example. D+, they would like do step 1 while they're setting up step 2 and just hitting step 3 right after. So at this point, D+ are by the bomb site. They're up the main stairs. They're in the building. We've seen KC go from window rappel to parking rappel to in ATMs to outside to back to window rappel. They're all waiting for him to do all the Kali work first. But you're giving Wamai time to recharge those magnets, which are now catching half the user.
Well, for what feels like the first time an opening kill has been found by Furia. In fact, it's only the second time this entire game long that Furia have found the first pick. They're playing very slowly. It's a contrast to what we've seen for most of this game so far. But how are you going to deal with that clash, right? Look, the answer comes very quickly. It's the Kali knocking the shield back with the shots from the sniper. Oh, he's so tempted to put it down, isn't he? But the risk is there. He's not going to go for it. Time ticking away.
Info is too valuable because, mind you, when D+ made that exact same plant spot happen, there's lack of information from Fury that made that go down, but the Clash is alive and Nero swings behind him, doubling down on that position. Fury have information, nades are coming out, but again, they cannot deal with the Clash effectively. No Kali lances. A single frag grenade in the pocket of nade is the only way to deal with soft utility like the Clash shield. It might just be, oh, well, Casey opened things up. Actually, Mitty goes down. That's going to be with Omai. Still winnable.
Yeah. Well, Falls is under a lot of pressure, though. With that Clash being harassed by the Kali, in goes Nade. It's not going to be easy to find a safe plant spot, but with Falls going down, maybe he can. Levy needs to try and get around it, but he's being watched by JV and by Nade. So well baited, so well played from Furia. Nears in a 1v4 as he finds his second kill of the round. He will need to ace up with the plant down and 3 Furia players watching him. Nade steps up, a massive round from him, and Furia stave off match point.
And I think it really comes down to opening pick once more. That was a 5v4 pseudo execute there for Furia because they found a pick early on. There wasn't enough manpower for Deepos to take those fights 2v1 in every single confrontation, so there were some 1v1s, and finally Furia come alive and finally win those. But I really think that if Furia can keep this slower style gameplay early on, keep their 5 attackers alive, and hopefully find a pick of their own or force a pick of their own, that's going to be the way forward for them. Arbiter bans are going through, and it's going to be a Twitch and a Kaid, so the double Twitch ban. I think the Kaid here is quite cheeky. That's going to be Furia saying, we think you have a different way of playing this game, and it involves denying the hatches, denying the walls. We don't want to deal with that. So Kaid will get removed from play. A ton of utility being focused there from both teams when they were on the attacking side.
And we're in a similar position where we were a couple of rounds ago, Nick, where Furia are technically only losing.
Sees for
That was weird.
Point. Really deadly. This is the most ominous position that it's been so far this game for D+.
Let's check on all the
There you go, there you go. That's what we needed.
bit of energy, bit of life.
Bit of animation from Hertz. Could get this game across the line if him and KZ can look really solid on those entries. It's Nade actually in the last 2 rounds. It's really stepped up. He's found the opening kill twice in a row. He's now going positive as well. Remember, he looked so glum for the longest time in this match. Still unthinkable that only 2 players on Furia are positive at the moment at the 5-5 scoreline.
We also really got to see the ins and outs of how D+ function, because we've been speaking with Falls in the play interviews over in the APL, and we had all kind of assumed that he was like a big voice in the team. He said Mitty is like the IGL, and during that attack time, it was just Mitty being spoken to, and Mitty being very like, okay, you know, nodding, agreeing, etc. And the second that the attack timer was over, he looks to his teammates and talks to his team. So it feels very much like Mitty has full control over the strategical sides of D+'s ins and outs. And that can put a lot of pressure if he's very much on his own.
Well, I hazard a guess it could also be a bit of a language thing, of course. PJH's first language is Korean. Most of the D+ guys speaking Portuguese.
So it's forced doing interviews in English.
That's actually true, yeah.
That's why it's a bit, you
His
know.
English is very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's clearly not just a language thing then. I assume PJH's English is insane as well. Like
It's
he's-
really good.
He's very good English.
I met him at a previous event when he was there before the coaching gig here with D+.
Oh yeah, because he was working with Ubisoft.
He
and
was.
doing some casting
And
stuff
I
like
thought
that.
he was like, you know, in the casting area, like a fan or some sort, because he's very much a fan of the game and players, very much so, and he doesn't hide that. I love that about him. And then I was like, wait, that's the same guy coaching.
Oh yeah,
It's like-
yeah it is. It's great to see Mitty getting a bit of live line. This guy has been playing Siege for the longest time. He actually qualified.
Coaching,
Yes. So this guy actually qualified for the very first season of Brazilian Pro League way back in 2017.
Oh.
Yeah. And his
Okay.
team came last.
Oh.
And then he was, of course, made famous by his stint as the coach of NIP, and only really returned to playing here. And, well, I mean, he's looking like he's very happy to be back behind the mouse and keyboard.
Beautiful.
That's
Great
not
timing.
what we
2
have.
kicks and then back to site. We love that. For D+. JV, though, he says, all right, time to put my superhero cape back on. Find Levy. Look for a little bit more than that. Mitty has gone for a second. JV might be able to take him on down. For Leapox needs to get some kills on the board, especially now
Of course he
that it's a
was.
1v3,
They don't like to look
1v2.
like around. I
As he takes
realize.
down Bullet. No diffuser to speak of. That died in the hands of JV.
Oh no, it died on the main stairs here. In the hands of his teammate. Winnable for Felipox.
Bit of a puzzling round. Meiji hiding top floor, finds the perfect time in the crossfire on the main stairs, forcing Philippox in the 1v2.
Oh, but it's an awkward angle, and the crossfire is perfect from D+. Time to fire up. And that's
Stop
the
it,
energy that we
Woodward.
wanted to see out of Midi. And BJH could not be more ecstatic. It's finally match points. And get this, it's in favor of the underdogs. D+ on the verge of knocking Furia down a peg.
Just one more round, boys. One more pocket set. That's been the saving grace of D+ right now, where they can just win these rounds out of nowhere. A facepalm from Hertz as well at the end of the player cams. Definitely a bit of frustration.
Yeah, baby.
They're gonna go top floor, surprisingly enough, with that clash. The same approach like before. So a mixture of a little bit of plant denial, a little bit of time waste on the two brow. I'm not sure I'm loving this lineup from Deep. I'll tell you why. Levy is playing the recruit on defense, the sentry. That only gives you secondary utility, a C4 and the impact grenades. So sure, a little bit of plant denial with a C4, but you gotta be in the right spot to really use it. Then you have two brow, you can stall the walls by freezing them, but Kaid is banned, you're not playing better. You can't stop them from being opened up, so they will be opened up. You don't have any easy way to deal with those plant spots that Furia went for last time around. So I really think for this with D+, you gotta really reel it in. You cannot lose a player early to a silly peek or a silly positional error or being unaware of a push somewhere. You need these 5 players alive because individually they're quite weak. They need each other.
That's the nature of so many of those Wombo combo operators on that attacking side, right?
Yeah.
And he's still got these dreadful little things to deal with, like the clash. And they counted Falls' clash very well last time on this top floor using the Kali. We need to see that again. We need to see them really nullify Falls. Mears is also a great operator to fortify these positions, hold on and support with Falls. Furia have to dot all their I's, cross all their T's. They have to get everything right just to send this to OT.
Looking like they're expecting a play. Jump out, a peek on the windows. Nate is waiting for it, but again, like I said, D+, all they have to do on paper is stay alive. They don't gotta make those hero plays at all. Hertz, 4 and 10 on Thermite, making the first approach though to Janitor hallway, waiting to cut off that rotation, but it's just a clash, and you can't do anything about that.
And the stop fraggle, you can feel it's palpable. Hertz, he loves to make his move. JV, again the saving grace for Furia, as he always seems to be. He's hungry for more, but his teammate of Nade has fallen, and Nade has been instrumental in a lot of these recent rounds at getting that diffuser down, getting Furia into plannable positions, and now the Sens is gone.
They're gonna pop the wall, and as you said, the only saving grace now, the smoke grenades from Thermite and the glass to work together. JV's gonna be the playmaker on stock windows. He's just a good gun with a flashbang to his name. The drone downstairs to stop any C4s, but JV goes down. Hero play out of action. He was 14 and 8 and cannot be there to save Furia for this one.
A hard carry down means that the rest of the boys have to step up. We know they're capable, but it hasn't been their game today. Hertz takes a hell of a lot of damage. And KZ is not on the most fraggable operator, being that Kali. He's looking for a chance to deal damage against that clash, but it's not likely. And Falls, he might actually get the drop on him. He puts that shield down, picks it back up again, make sure that he's not exposed for too long. And Pox is down. Midi stands up again. Falls, doesn't matter that his shield is falling. KZ just grasped one, and it comes down to Hertz, who has not been good enough this game. He needs to step up, and he finds it. Falls on the clash in the 1v2.
He had him.
The shield planted and destroyed now. He gets out the SMG, and KZ from behind takes him down and sends Furia into overtime.
I don't know if that clash is a bit of bait because his shield always up, not taking the fights, and that was gonna be the round for D+ until it wasn't. JV was dead, no playmakers left alive, Hertz on low HP, and a goddamn Kali having to take gunfights from close quarters. And still Furia, they find a way. I feel like if you're a player of D+ right now, no tech timeout, you're entering OT, and you fumble 2 rounds to clutches because you're giving Furia a small gap, which they exploit so well every chance that they're giving it.
And after 2 4-2 attack splits, we now go into overtime with Furia starting on that favored side.
Oh boy.
And yet, every single one of these rounds feels like it could go either way, especially in that second half. I mean, most of the rounds that went by, there was only 1 or 2 players for Furia left alive when they won those rounds. They were losing opening kills a lot of those rounds as well, and still coming back and bringing it close.
And we're seeing 2v4s, 2v3s, and it's never over until it's over. That's the really big thing right now. And I mean, I was sitting there watching the previous round going, there's no one from Fury on window rappel. You're giving so much rotational power to Deepus to just run around the bomb site. And still, they managed to find their way back. Oryx being played despite the multi-ban hiding in the basement the entire time. This could just be, okay, this could be where he's never gonna roam. They're gonna open up the lobby hatch. You're gonna flank through the hatch that way. But now we're seeing Furia, they got a server take likely, right? Yeah. So that market strat might never come to life, and they got.
You haven't brought him on, right? You've only brought the 2 sets of can openers, so you're probably not going to be opening up that lobby hatch. But it is a nice idea, especially because Midi can come and support with the Echo drones and actually scout ahead and make sure that lobby's clear before Levy goes for the jump. But
that's the plan. But it might not be what Furia has prepared for this one. This looks like it could very well be a limited server take with Garage flank. And that's all they would need. That and a few kills and they're good. Bullet is injured. Not sure if he can be confirmed from Garage. Gonna crawl away. Should be. Nope.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
Just on the corner, gets picked off by Casey on the glass. Perfect ult.
Yeah. This could be where D+ capitulate. Furia have lined up a very convincing attack setup here. A bit of damage as Hertz tries to get closer to the site. And KZ now has domination over Garage. You can see deep into Red Hallway. He can see the full site. He's going to deploy his last smoke to try and cut off. Nia's trying to hold on to his position. Midi survives, but a great shot threading the needle for Herds. And the round looks to be in the bag for Furia. A match point for the first time.
What?
Could be theirs. Levy looks to try and get aggressive. I mean, his plan for this round completely nullified. So what's he going to do about it? The plant is going down. KZ is still at large in Garage. He goes down to Levy. Oh, and another one falls. JV going deep. The plant has been confirmed. It's a 2v3 on the retake, but with Levy falling as he attempts to flank the main stairs. Midi, who have failed to deny the plant, now has to do it all himself.
Up the staircase, 1v3, timer ticking away, the Blitz alive. No one's even waiting for him. They're running away. They're playing down that clock, and Mitzi, I'm sorry, buddy, but he's in open area. You're looking the wrong way.
No. This is going to be the round done and dusted. Furia back onto match point. They crawled all the way up the mountain. They clawed their way back into this from 5-3 in deficit. Here they sit at 7-6. Or, I mean, I guess if it was from D+'s perspective, 6-7.
Oh.
They're pissed.
You still got it, huh? Hanging with a young crew. 6-7.
I still don't understand what that means.
I honestly, so as far as I know, it's from a song, and it's because we have a big meme for whatever reason. He just goes 6-7, and people love it. I don't know either.
I mean, we're both Gen Z,
We're
right?
both,
like, but and still we're not part of that. We're not
not quite on that end of the
not
Gen
that
Z.
Gen Z enough. I mean, born in the 90s.
Yeah.
So
Defenders protect your bombs from
not
being
cool enough for
defused by
that.
attackers.
And that right there is the cost of doing pocket strats, by the way.
Yes.
When you think that they might do something, so you tailor your setup to counter it or have a bit of a niche, and they don't do it. And it's like, Oryx, we never saw the guy, never did anything, didn't use the gadget once because they went for a completely opposite attack.
Yeah. JV's hit 15, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
It's been a big game for him. Not surprising at all. One of the best players in stage 2.
Not surprising, but surprising in this game how the rounds have been playing out. I mean, he's finding a lot of kills when he's last alive.
Yeah.
He's found clutches, he's found openings, he's kind of been everywhere on the map.
Yeah, he has.
And I mean, also, the one spot that he owns is the elevator hatch up to basement.
Yes,
He's got
true.
a third of his kills there, I think.
Yeah, I think he has, from both positions as well,
Yeah.
being on the attack or the defense of it. Oh, well, pressure's on for D+. They fumbled their match point.
Experience the magic of Waymo and the new movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Your space, your ride, your rules.
The most awaited early bird sale is now live. 15% discount, 45 days.
Now they're going to have to climb back
Changing bag.
from 6-7 in deficit, attacking onto the basement. And the big difference here, from my understanding from Furia, is we've got the Warden, which I think we did have just the once, but it wasn't a staple of their basement defense previously.
Not for either team. It's been very little Warden for this game.
Furia really leaned into the smoke Tachanka combo, and they've also leaned a lot into the Echo, which isn't present at all.
So small switch up. A D+, unlike before, not super fast to the punch right down the building. You come to Track onto Warden, they know he's in the staircase, and they gotta deal with that. It could be tossing a nade and go for a swing. You obviously can't flashbang him. You could try and double up, but he's got a shotgun. It just feels very risky to lose or win the entire round off the server stairs, but it might come down to it. Falls finds JV early again.
Does anyone you want to take down? It's JV.
A hashtag. Okay. Whatever that means.
Whatever that, yep. Right. Well, here comes the Track again onto her.
It's such a 50-50 though if you want to go for such a risky play. Nade and swing, finds you the angle.
Let's clear the fire at least. The second A could go through. There is no escape now for Hertz though, with that hatch being open.
I think you wait for the fire to go away, second nade goes through, then your white swing is at the bottom of the staircase, so that's shotgun one hit. That's gotta be the angle. And they got time to buy now because JV died.
Yeah.
That buys the attackers 20 seconds.
You might need to drop someone down the hatch as well to push from the other side. They're going to be vulnerable to the side.
Track, nade, push.
Alright, here comes the Track. And the nade. But the swing aggressively from Herds. The nade will finish him off after a bit of damage was dealt from that pistol. And now D+ back in the numbers advantage. Furia still have a way back into this though. Nade has plenty of Plantanol and Filipok still has a Nitro Cell in pocket.
Yep. There is time on defender's side here, 45 seconds, plant denial, but we gotta hit our shots now. Findus goes down, no C4. KC swings as well and can't find that shot.
He needs to win this engagement. Nade, meanwhile, on the side, is holding down the fort. Near's on the floor, and there's still information as well for the attacking side and the defense, but it comes down to Nade, who has to 1v2. We saw a big clutch from JV before. Can Nate do the same? He's isolating them one by one, but Bullet gets the better of him. Midi is firing on all cylinders, and D+ have pushed us the distance.
Wow.
One more round in the tank for this game.
One more. And now it comes down to, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And I feel like this is one of the few times where I would rather be on the attack, because you can just look at what's in front of you and communicate about it. Because you have like 20 seconds now as a defender of D+ to go, what bomb site, what strat, who plays where, what's been the issues. Let's try and remember the last, 10 rounds of what's been happening on both sides. And you can easily make a mistake somewhere, but we see big smiles and we see big laughs. I don't think they're too worried about this one. I think they're feeling pretty damn comfortable, because even if they were to lose here, they have gotten the job done today.
Oh, they have pushed Furia deeper than almost anyone has done. So, I mean, remember, Furia has only dropped one match so far, the whole stage long, and that was against Liquid. Like I said before, in a game that arguably didn't matter because it had no ramifications for the standings. I guess they did lose, one map in a couple of BO3s.
Oh, they lost the map. Oh,
they lost two maps in two different BO3s, but they still won those BO3s. It's a different story though when you're losing a map that's probably your opponent's map. You're actually losing a series, losing a match like this is, especially because this is the best team from South America, the strongest region, compared to the third best team out of the APL.
Yeah.
And yes, they are Brazilian, but they compete in the APL.
Also a newer team. Like D+ came together for this APL, for stage 1 this year.
They formed less than a year ago, in fact. Whereas Furia, they've had the exact same roster ever since they made some changes. What was it, 3 years ago after SI 2023? They made some changes, but ever since Copenhagen 2.5 years ago, they've competed at every event with the same 5 players. Midi finds the opening kill, and it's JV, the star player from Furia, 15 kills to his name, who will sit out the remainder of it.
And it's Deimos. It's the Ronkler that goes hand in hand with the Blitz, with the Execute, with the pushing power. It is actually the biggest pick imaginable. And once again, it means more pressure onto Nate and KC, who's playing Blitz and the Glass. That's gotta be the two most important operators right now in terms of getting those kills in the server. Case and Garbage like last time, but they reinforced the wall. That's the counterplay. He can't see all that much. Here comes 6 Pyro Pellets, but that's half the scope's gone now. Split the garage.
Oh,
He's dead.
beautiful
Through
shot
the
through the smoke. And that is Levy standing up for the team when he's needed. Goodbye to KZ, goodbye to JV. That's the 2 top fraggers for Furia. We need the rest of the squad to get into the action. And so Nate does the blitz, marching his way into open area, but the defense can merely pull back. There's no need to sound the alarm at all for D+. They are still in control.
And they know there's one player in Garage because Philipok shot some straight bullets when he dropped down that hash from open area. So they know Blitz in open area, Hibana in the garage. They only are missing information on one player.
The global phenomenon Dungeons & Dragons is now live on stage, featuring all new technology that allows the audience to choose their path in real time. Your quest awaits at the 20-sided tavern. Tickets at BroadwayInHollywood.com.
That's Hurts, and he's upstairs in the electric room just watching Archive Stellars for a flank rotation. D+ gotta do what they've been doing so far. Don't do anything. Watch those cameras, hold those crossfires, and do not give Furia away into sight for free. That has happened before, but that was from JV on that elevator hatch, and JV, as we said, is dead for this round.
Oh, Nate, hello, straight in, he misses his melee, he's gonna lose the fight! No! Falls to double down! Puck's on you! Furia in a 1v5! And it looks like the underdogs, they bite hard! D+, they take down the once world champions in their opening match of the tournament! The 3rd seed from APL are here to play, and the imported Brazilians from Brazil to Korea and now to Munich, they have taken such a massive scalp in their opening match.
It started almost flawlessly, and it ended all the same. A team effort from D+, and an individual heroic game from JV on Furia. Furia gotta wake up, man. It's a one-man team right now.
It is. Say goodbye to your Pickens, guys. I don't know if you would pick Furia for this.
Damn, they're looking across each other like this. That's crazy. Wild.
Yes, but you certainly will be losing all your channel points. Underdogs, they bite hard. D+, they take down the once world champions in their opening match of the tournament.
Damn, this trailer.
Away, really appreciate the APAC away. They played like an explosive, unpredictable APAC team, but with the skill level of Brazilians.
They did, and I also feel like we had a lot of different games within that one game. Like that first half, it was all about D+, just running and gunning, pocket strat after pocket strat. Furia, I don't know what their prep looked like for D+, but they looked totally unprepared. They didn't have a good read on a lot of those attacks that D+ were coming out with. A lot of them were new. And then it changed. JV got that big clutch, and we saw, okay, Furia, you can never underestimate them. They took the tactical timeout, arguably a little bit too early.
One could argue that, yeah.
And then, as the game went forward, I mean, overtime, Furia got that match point first when it came into overtime, and yet D+, I just think it's insane, because these guys didn't even manage to qualify for EWC after Stage 1, and here in Stage 2, they are looking absolutely phenomenal. The team that didn't even get the championship in APL have now just taken down the champions from Furia. An upset to start the day, that sounds pretty lovely. Of course, we have more matches. Wildcard has a big game against Secret coming up next.
I can see what's in front of me. I can know
Où ces jours enchantés et sur les grands arbres noirs chaque soir vers elle s'en va tout mon esprit. Sous amour, mon pays Paris, Paris toujours.
This kid knows everything.
Mon cœur est ravi.
Ink is the mark of the soul. Dragon, tiger, imprints of power and boundless ascents. If fate's dumb enough to stand in my way, I'll paint over it with my own damn hands.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life.
So there I was, doing esports org CEO things, running the coolest, most best team out there. But the day wasn't just any regular day. It's my favorite day of the year. The day we decide what gun we're gonna do for our next Rainbow Six skin. You see, years ago, we started this whole anime thing in Siege. Elevate introduced the waifu buff. The community reaction to Ellie was something that nobody could have predicted. The waifu buff took the scene by storm. Everyone in the community wanted their hands on the best skin in the game. Year after year, we dropped banger after banger after banger. The Rainbow Six players fell in love with her, so much so that everyone else wanted to hop on the bandwagon. Some people have said that they're even tired of so many orgs doing anime. So I was like, hey, maybe it's time to be pioneers and start a trend again. It's time to do something new. Don't worry, don't worry. The waifu buff isn't going anywhere. There's no way we could abandon Ellie. We're the ones that started the anime waifu buff in Siege, and we sure as hell aren't going to back down. In fact, it's better than ever. Because now Ellie's on the very first shield skin for R6 share. And what better operator than Montaigne? Get it? Montaigne? Mountain? Elevate? Anyway, you know what else is awesome? Cats. I love cats. So I was like, bam, cats. Anime girls and cats front and center on Montaigne shield so that when you're cornering the helpless poor defender, do you know what they're gonna see? The most terrifying sign of them all. Introducing the Uwu Onslaught. Anime girl with adorable cats, Montaigne shield, and uniform. Did I mention it's an anime girl shield? Everything that we've accomplished at Elevate has led to this moment. We've built a legacy in Rainbow Six with our skins, and we wouldn't be here today without all of you. It's time for you to have the waifu buff with the best shield skin in the entire game, with Ellie and her cats on the front, and a tribute to all our successful skin releases throughout the years thanks to all of you. For the first time ever, the Elevate shield skin is available now in-game.
Ink is the mark of the soul. Dragon, tiger, imprints of power and boundless ascents. If fate's dumb enough to stand in my way, I'll paint over it with my own damn.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Definitely not the Freddy's I remember.
You're thinking of the franchise location. This?
Hey, this one's funny. You don't have to wait. Watch this.
Strategies mid-round adaptation, which again is a benefit to probably some.
A-Stream. Did you see Gus's sweater this morning?
Oh yeah,
it blends in
does it?
perfectly. Even the gradient.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I gotta show you a tweet about it or a Reddit post. Actually.
Oh, I love that. I really do love that.
So funny.
So as we're getting into it, another thing I just wanted to mention, you talked about Doom. He's third highest rated player in the world from stage 2. Oh wow, you're showing me this picture. That is a very
He literally blends in with the background.
I don't know if he deliberately did that or if he knew what the splashback would look like, but yeah, credit to Guz.
But Doom's been popping off. And there was this small content piece that's running on social media right now where they ask 2 players, it was Baby Shark and Doom for this one. And it's like, are you the best player? Yes or no? Are you in your prime? And Doom is like, I'm the best player. I'm in my prime. I'm underrated. Baby Shark's like, I'm not the best player right now. I'm not really in my prime, but I'll get there. Like, completely opposite answers.
Wildcard are a very humble team, right? Like, as for North America...
I think they have to be as well, though.
For sure. I mean, like, they're not the big ticket, like, DZ, who, by the way, isn't here. Or, just, you know, a reminder. Or, you know, your SSGs, even your M80s. Like, this isn't a star-studded roster where they've bought all of these, like, former champions. Even Shopify Rebellion, for example. You know, you've got Spoit, you've got Canadian. That's a star-studded roster. No, Wildcard, you kind of have 3... Okay. Kansan has a lot of history, of course, way back in the day with Sonics. And then you've got, you know, these 3 kind of up-and-coming Bay, Spiker, Baby Shark, players that haven't got a lot of accolades to their name, shall we say. And then you got Dash, who, I mean, was major champion a year ago with, oh, sorry, was it a year ago? Yeah, it was, with W7M in Montreal. And then, of course, leaving that roster, leaving the Bulls and going over to North America. He's kind of the only one on this team where you're like, all right, that's like a, you know, a big ticket player.
That's the odd one out as well. Like that pickup when it happened was like,
very strange.
I heard the rumors like that can't be a true rumor. Like there's no like Baby Shark and Dash. So I really like what Wildcard have done because they've built something quite successful out of a lot of question marks and uncertainties. And it was a risky choice as well because when you're picking up players from international grounds, you can't just kick them the next season. It's a big investment, visa, housing, etc. And they stuck with it. It's worked out for them. They're on the attack of border, which is the favorable side as well. So hopefully for their sake, they can get some rounds on the board early.
I mean, in theory, but if you look historically, Wildcard, they're not a great border team. They lost it to DZ. They lost it to Shopify. The only team they've beaten recently is Team Cruelty, who are not a solid roster. Also, they only have a 33% attack win rate on this map, by the way.
Oh.
They've won 10 out of their 30 attacks over the last couple of months. But they do start strong, taking down the big boy himself, Noah, the young gunner. After his amazing Zero to Heroes story over the last few years, ending with the trophy in Riyadh. He goes down, and Wildcard are hungry for a bit more. Doom solidifies his fortress of a position with the Akiba barriers. This angle, I mean, how on earth do you lose this? Surely there's no way you lose it. As the Grim Bees come out, he is feeling a lot of pressure.
And they're not really shooting those Akiba barriers. A lot of safety net for Doom to be found, and He's just buying time. If he gets a kill, goes 1 for 1, phenomenal. But look at this, they have themselves where Mowgli swings out break door, takes that one and sees the second.
Yeah, that is just classic Secret, isn't it? Our players being a real nuisance, and then they start to poke and prod and look for chances to fight on back two. Does find a second as well. Wildcard are falling to pieces, but Baby Shark tries to pick him back up. And with that, it's a 2v2. Wildcard recomposed, diffuser in their hands. 50 seconds to play, and Savage and Adrian look to hold on.
Classic Border, East there's all the action, bit of chaos, bit of sloppiness in both teams, as Border can be very often. Self-destruction happening, no reinforcements, Spike goes down, Baby Shark as well. Secret find the first round together in that 2v2.
Yeah, a lot of hype from the boys as well. Well played. I really like that play from Mowgli. It is just classic Mowgli, isn't it?
It is. Guy is so annoying to play with, or play against, or play with probably as well actually. Because he's like, don't do it, Mo, don't do it. He's like, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it anyway. You would have played against Mowgli quite a lot in your time.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Surely.
I'm
back in
thinking the
day.
wheels are turning. Did I?
Wolves were around.
Yeah, wolves were around
while you were
surely,
still on
right?
G2.
I think it was like the early stage of Mowgli. Yeah,
He would have been the new generation.
Yeah, he would have been the new generation.
The up and coming as you retired.
And he's the same guy now as then. He's super annoying in the server, really hard to beat in a gunfight, and he does stuff where you think to yourself, how is this guy a pro player? He's so silly. Well, I would say stupid, but yeah. But the thing is, it's his playstyle. I remember back in the early Wolves days. I mean, that's why he's not a Wolves anymore as well, right? It wasn't working for that roster. It felt like Secret had half the solution, half the recipe, and Wolves had the other half. And when Secret became this current iteration of the roster, they all were like, this is gonna be our playstyle. We're gonna play into the aggression and the craziness, and we have the players for it.
Yeah, for the longest time, Mowgli was on a really structured, methodical team of Wolves. You know, the infamous joke about Wolves and now BDS is they have like 10 million support staff with like the Loon, heading the ship, and then you've got Helby and Eden and everyone else that's helped them over the years. And that old roster of Wolves was very much structured. And Mowgli, he was the odd one out on that team, but you could never kick him because he's carrying in the kill department. But if he doesn't do the plan of the team, then the team looks silly. And then if he doesn't land his kill, then the round's not done. He needed to find a home that would embrace his chaos, and that's exactly what this new iteration of Secret is. It's all these very young players, actually. Used to be one of the youngest teams.
I think now it's Wildcard, right?
Yeah, I think they are. Well, I mean, you got 4 players. Most of the players in the server at the moment are 20 or 21. Secret has 20-year-old, 2 21-year-olds, 22-year-old, and 23-year-old. So it's still a very, very young team. Youngest player at the event is actually Wildcard, like you said.
And they're taking their sweet time. I think you speaking to their, low win rates on the attacks just means they're gonna really make sure they get this done perfectly. That means slowing down the pace, Flash is going out, but they don't even push with it. This snake could be so good, but it misses. Adrian finds the first kill to Baby Shark.
Oh, look at that from Adrian. Double swinging again and supported by Noah. This is much better from Team Secret. The aggression compounded with more aggression. It is their classic play style, and it is coming up spades. Wildcard just rely on the Brazilian now to get the job done in a 1v5. You may as well pack up the mouse and keyboard at this point. It's not going to happen, even with a minute and a half left. It's only a matter of time before Secret gets a little bit antsy.
He's gonna jump out. Just wait. If enough time, it's an air jet. Maybe he won't jump out actually. Never mind. He would if he could.
He would.
Feels bad when you're locked out of the building like this for Wildcard, because one thing is to take a gunfight and losing it, another one is not entering the damn building and losing every single fight on top of it.
Well, not a single player got their boots in the building that round.
Nope, they did not. Out on the balcony. And that was really it. That whole round was decided East stairs in the first one, and security balcony in the second.
At this point, we've got to have Secret jump out every single window and run out every single door at the same time. East stairs, break door, armory door. Come on, you got the diffuser. You may as well make it work. Oh, Dash is going to find an exit frag. Noah goes down. Oh, well, he got this kill.
I'm actually surprised Secret are not going more aggressive on this. There we go, a C4, a swing, smiles from Secret. Big cause celebration, because if this is how it's going to be on Border, and it's going to look a little bit too one-sided for my liking.
Yeah, well, this is A map that we usually say attack has the advantage. I'm looking statistically, it's slightly defender favored, 51%, but
Okay.
Siege as a whole is very defensive favored, right? Especially in this meta. You know, after Border, Bank, and Chalet, which are the three kind of more attackers maps, the next one's Lair, and that's still like 55% defensive win rate. But of course, Border, like, if you're going to see the defense winning more rounds than the attack here, it's a great sign for Wildcard.
Yeah, we gotta take into like how the rounds are being lost or won, and that's my concern. It's not that they're down
Not
0-2,
getting
it's how they're down 0-2.
I don't know if you experienced this, you know, being a veteran who, you know, is good at the game, but sure. Well, I don't know if you relate to this at all, but I certainly do, and I'm sure that most people who play Siege, especially a lot of our viewers, know this feeling. You're playing Border, and you're like getting closer and closer to the map. Like, you know, you're near a doorway, you're near a window, and then it's just like constantly enemy detected outside, enemy detected outside. And then before you know it, it's like you're playing a ranked solo queue, and it's like 2v5, and you haven't even got to the building yet. All your teammates are dead, and you never even get inside because the defense is just manhandling you. That's kind of what happened last round with Secret, and I wouldn't be surprised if they continue that type of playstyle.
No, I started my solo. I have 2 accounts now. Right? I have one for like my regular 5-stack and whatever. I have a solo queue account that I only solo queue on.
Yeah.
It's a different game of Siege, let me tell you. I mean, I always knew it, but I've never like properly played solo queue in my life.
Really?
I literally came into this game with my best friends with Duode.
Experience the magic of Waymo and the new movie Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Your space, your ride, your rules.
The most wanted pitbull shavers. Faster and smoother.
Then I joined Penta. So I never solo queued in my life until about 8 months ago. And when I play Border, my role on attack is sprint into the building and just get into customs and try and get a kill or two. Because you're right, if I'm stuck outside the building, I'm not gonna get in ever.
Yeah.
And if I can cause some chaos, then let there be chaos. And I mean, look at this wildcard round on the 3rd attempt here. It's looking very similar. They're doing things that they should, right? They're droning, they're getting flank set up, they're clearing utility. This is excellent. But if you can't get in the building afterwards, it doesn't go anywhere.
Sure.
And no one yet in the first, 70 seconds has entered the building, really. As a matter of fact, they have not entered the building yet.
Yep, everyone's still in the external. This is the moment where Bay is tempted to try and push in to CCTV. Noah's waiting for him, exactly the same position he was playing last time. He's got June to support him. Up on the rafters, on the mezzanine, and he falls. Wow, he shot first, but he still not deal enough damage to confirm the kill. Dash takes him down. Noah's position revealed. Nades and flashes, I believe, about to be used to really affect his position, and he's not going to get out alive, that's for sure. At least there's a crossfire from Adrian.
That's good. Here comes C4, goes out. Adrian good for 1.
Yeah, but good trade back again, and Noah is there to support. I think Baby Shark perhaps didn't realize, but Wildcard should have known full well. Noah's been there the whole round. Spiker now in the thick of it, up on that top floor above the bomb site with his DMR in hand, diffuser in pocket. Noah is still at large on the other side of this top floor, and they know about it. They've actually got info. Yellow ping's coming out. Savage is low HP as well, so Secret are on the ropes.
Quite awkward here because Savage and Noah cannot help each other. One downstairs in the workshop, one up above. They do this out for free. They're gonna stop playing because that's the right play. They can't stop it.
Is there info? I mean, I don't think
They
there
have
is.
no clue.
Noah hasn't even put his bulletproof camera down. I wonder if that was meant to be inside a bathroom. Savage at least makes it a 2v1. And they know exactly where Kansan is. Once he was the class master, but not to be today. A 3K for the Portuguese man. And a good retake there for Team Secret. Makes it 3 rounds on the trot.
Again, another awkward round for Wildcard there. Again, good things in the beginning, clearing util, a good ending, besides the round loss, getting the plant down. But again, how they get there is positive. They can't clear CCTV. They cannot take Easters either. It was just a great, gunshot from Dash when Doom swung him that one in that engagement. And I really like seeing a map like Border where the specific positions matter. Doom is playing Easters every single round. Noah's playing CC every single round. This is one of those maps where these areas are so vital to every single bomb site. You need to play them.
Yeah.
And having the same player excel in that spot can really make or break the rounds.
Very much a position-based map here.
Yeah.
Wildcard take the tactical timeout. Lagonis,
The goats.
former major champion himself with Team 1.
With Alamau.
With Alamau back in the good
They
old
were
days.
down, I think, on match point down, 2v4, 2v5 against G2 and Shelly, bar defense, they're attacking it. And that's when Elamau and Nagonis clutched the 2v4, and that started the comeback, and that win got them further. It was an elimination match, and they win their whole thing.
The main thing I remember from that event, it was Mexico 2021, was that it was the only time in Rainbow Six history we've ever had a tiebreaker for which teams make it to the top 8.
tiebreaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like everything was tied, like their points, their round difference, their head-to-head mini-league result. So the only way we could separate Team 1 and Cyclops was by having them rematch, which is exciting. Like, we've never had that happen. We may never get to see it again, but it was the most exciting format ever. The fact that Team 1 were on the verge of getting eliminated by an APAC team, and in the rematch they did win the tiebreaker and then went on to win the whole event. Incredible.
Yeah.
Of course, and now Lagonis, after his stint in Brazil, has moved over to North America. He's taking a coaching role with Wildcard. He knows what it's like to play against teams from Europe, teams from North America. He knows what it's like to play against a team that's as aggressive as Secret. I think Secret, in some ways, play a little bit like a lot of those Brazilian rosters as well.
Similar, yeah.
So he would have a lot of insight. Get these guys off that donut.
I feel like this could be one of those matches where if you're Fabian or Lagonis, like a former player yourself, and you're coaching Wildcard, it might be very frustrating to be the coach because you feel like if I was only in the server, I could call the problems as I see them and I could fix this. Because it does feel like to me like Wildcard, they're not bad players, they're not a bad team, they deserve to be here, they qualified, but they have not really shown us what they're capable of yet here on Border. And as we said, lesser experienced team as a roster, despite having some of the players having some experience like Cancel, like Lagonis the coach, Dash winning a major, but as a team, they're still pretty new. And I feel like that's really showing here because the basics are not really being met.
We saw in our first game on the B stream today, Fury are down 2 rounds. They took their tactical timeout and they started to bring it back. We're going to see the same from Wildcard here. Down 0-3 on what should be the favorite side of Border. But Secret have started to get that ball rolling. They've started to build that momentum. And once these guys are gunning, there's no stopping them.
The global phenomenon Dungeons & Dragons is now live on stage, featuring all new technology that allows the audience to choose their path in real time. Your quest awaits at the 20-Sided Tavern. Tickets at BroadwayInHollywood.com.
Give big, save big at Nordstrom Rack.
Ooh, big gift energy.
The biggest gifts and the biggest deals up to 70% off. For loved ones big and small. All the biggest brands. Everything for the holiday season.
Including gifts for you.
And get an extra 5% off with your Nordstrom credit card. That's big. Give big, save big. Nordstrom Rack.
We've seen it in the latter half of Stage 2. We, of course, saw it at EWC. Wildcard are shaping up nicely. You can see a lot of pressure. Savage is going to take down Dash. Savage is going for a jump bounce. How does he find so much? Eventually, he's trained back by the Claymore of all things. Baby Shark is in a 1v4. Savage commits a massacre with that jump out. 7-1 he is, and Baby Shark is being hunted on down. Wildcard's tactical timeout seems to be all for naught because the Portuguese player has made it look so good. Baby Shark whiffing his shots.
No, not his prime. That's not prime Baby Shark right there.
Oh my god, he is being hunted down. It's just offensive from Mowgli. Noah from up above. Savage, a big smile on his dial in the middle of the team. And Secret are dominating 4-0. This is the revenge that they were looking for after Wildcard knocked them from Rio.
That is criminal. Jumps out armory sandwich window, shotgun in hand, gets the point blank grapple player. Weapon swaps, kills the guy on Arkhim's balcony. Weapon swaps, kills the guy jumping out ventilation window and then dives to the Claymore. Like, no player took him down. It's the goddamn piece of utility that was already pre-placed beneath. Should never happen.
It never should. I can't believe he's 7-1 after that as well. That is insane. That was his first death in the game, by the way, to that Claymore.
Nah, that's... And again, it's one of those things where it shouldn't be possible for a player to make that kind of play, because that means someone's not watching what they should be watching or not reacting fast enough.
And every single time he gets a kill, that should be a trait.
Yeah. I'm also just thinking like, okay, he's outside the building, running towards the ventilation window. why are we jumping out of the ventilation window when we have wall hacks on it? Like, I'm not sure if it's just like panic or...
Could just wait for him to try and get inside.
Yeah, I think, oh, he's reloading, he's got no bullets, right? But no, bro's got 2 weapons, I guess. Well played to Savage, obviously. But when you're up 3-0, enemy calls attack, timeout, you have no fear to make a single kill.
It's back-to-back 3Ks from Savage as well. If I recall correctly, he was one of the main players in that 2v2 post-play.
He was in the 2v2, yes sir. He was the workshop player on the Valkyrie.
He was the one that found both kills, yeah.
That's the one.
I mean, Savage is the IGL, he's the more supportive player on the team, not the guy you expect to get in the highlight reels. That's, you know, your Jim, Mowgli, even Adrian and Noah to some degree. Very rarely.
Noah's had a glow up, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but that guy was a bot in his own debut season of Pro League. Yeah, he really was. And I remember Fabian, obviously being Swedish, shows Noah, was not too happy about that representation of his country. Oh, there we go, though. Dashed in and cancelled the third.
Oh, but Savage, he will not stop this reign of terror. An 8th kill for him. Him and Adrian both have only died once. 2v4. It's not impossible here. Savage has a really good position as well if Baby Shark oversteps.
Oh. Adrian dies though, so all of a sudden this does look impossible and they're coming for him. They're not gonna plant games, they want the kills.
And they should get them. Savage jumps outside, Baby Shark finds him. Wildcard finally on the scoreboard, took them long enough. But one round on the attacking side is not going to be enough. They will need to find a second here and then have a very outstanding defense in order to make this game doable again.
Hey, Dash has Lagonis' jersey on. Look, it says Lagonis, but it's Dash.
Oh yeah, true.
I just noticed.
That's a keen eye from here.
Because they have the names on the front. Most teams have their names on the back.
I kind of like it on both sides.
I like on the front because you're not seeing the back. They're sitting in a chair.
It does create some pretty hard content pieces though, when you like see a player looking out and you see the name on the back.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. Yeah. It has both. I guess both sides of the coin there.
I mean, it's just nice to have it on the front as well in case like they're a newer player and you don't recognize them.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more embarrassing than like wrong naming someone.
Yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing about like early Pro League of any game, but in CT it was like, oh, hello, nice to meet you, and you look at their back, Pingu, okay, that's and then like, you know, Brazil came into Tier 1 Pro Play, and you have no idea who they are. We only knew Ness because he dropped like the first 1v5 in Pro Play ever against Pain Gaming on Oregon, and I was like, okay, that's Ness, you know, I know that.
I remember that guy.
And then APAC just like, who are these guys, you know? And now it's like, you know them as like iconic star players, like Anderson, for example, to name one. It's
even then when, you know, a new team forms or a new team qualifies for it. For example, like Enterprise, they just won this morning, but this is actually the first major for most of those players. Fisher Guy, the only one that's played at majors before, and so a lot of people would not be familiar with their faces, especially the players that don't do the player interviews.
Yeah, guys, if you're a player or want to be a player, you gotta do those goddamn interviews, okay?
Heard it from the horse's mouth right here. This is a guy who managed to keep working in esports even after his playing career ended. That's how you do it.
Just because I did interviews, you know.
That's the only reason.
That's
brother.
the only reason. Once you do your first one, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be bad, but you're gonna want to do more, and it's gonna get better every single time. So get that practice in while you can. It sucks to do your first one and you're a world champion because you're gonna be bad as a world champion. That's not
Get the reps in. Noah's found another one here, so man, Secret are unstoppable on this attacking side. I noticed as well, sorry, the defensive side, I noticed that Spiker has gone down without another kill, like on 5. Every single round he's fallen without a frag. Aggressive from Mowgli, he finds it, goodbye Kansan, looks for a little bit more. On the other side, it's Dash.
Oh boy.
He's the last one standing, and the fire is so close to him. Out with the melee, and a second one from Adrian coming in to support
I guess
Mowgli.
we pretty much can
It's
guess
a
that
dominating half for Team
them.
Secret. Wildcard sent for the hills. They find a single round in their entire attack. Good.
Tell me about your bad dreams.
talking shop. What is your one favorite piece of tech in Siege?
And it turned out and stressed over it. That kind of was what switched him to like, to now drop
The kill. The kill.
Entry mate. Spiger had an
to a 3K. They're sticking up on the plan, Pojo.
The very start of the round one, very close to the end, but even still, get a pick with the Vert, a Rebellion, and
have all the hard breachers and no Kaid at your disposal. So
sure.
I don't think they've invented a way to attach the bandit batteries to the ceilings yet, Jesse. So as bizarre as a car battery dangling from overhead would be, I suppose anything can work in a pinch. You did talk about the hard breachers. It's worth noting that Hibana and Ace are now locked in, so you've got multiple tools at your disposal. Of course, when you look at an operator opening up hatches, Hibana is going to be your best bet. It does not surprise me to see her get ran. Teams will bring a thermite if they intend to execute quite heavy onto church wall, but I think a lot of that is also a reaction. If a team reinforces all 3 of those panels on church, a thermite makes an awful lot of sense because you only need to be concerned if you don't have moto control with either moto or over towards pulse spot. This is not ideal. There's already been a kill. You might have blinked and missed it. Benjamaster outdueled by P4 on the Goyo, and immediately the Dane on the Danish operator Nook is gone.
Very fast for Benji to get to main stairs, but P4 was holding at the top of it. Very common spot. You'll see a player sit, and that's exactly what P4 was. So the captain of BDS will strike first, removing that attacker, but that's okay if you're Space Station. You kind of expect the Nook to be a bit of a gimmicky play, a bit of a gamble. You weren't relying on that operator, as you mentioned. So much hard break skill. Jade, I know, with the can openers as well. So the util is still strong from Space Station, even if they will miss having the firepower coming through from Benja this round. Minute 49, and without a real roam game, we expect this to be a likely 4v5 late round execute. If they can get a pick with the Vert, it's not great. If they can get a pick with the Vert with the sledge or something, that'll be ideal, but honestly, it's really just about getting all the walls open, getting all the information, and then setting up for a really strong push.
Robbie will take down Ashen. First player for SSG on the board is Newers. Goodbye to Freck. Lasmy gunning down Newers, and it's just all falling by the wayside for SSG. They do have Fultz and J90 still up, and with Lasmu down, if the smoke cannot be retrieved, that would be a huge win. But I don't think Space...
Some guy just decided, like, hey, everybody needs to have a job to make money to pay for shit, bro. Like some guy, bro.
This guy's funny as hell. Pretty cool, pretty cool. They got tattoos of like pieces. Interesting.
I need a jet ski just for my pinky. Trimski. My black girl sniff Monica Lewinsky. Drown. My white girl give me a Menage shape like Nikki. Trimski. I got big camel on my blicky. Trimski. I just moved the whole plate of Icky Vicky. Drown. I just touched a kitty, it was sticky. Icky. I came in the mouth.
That's funny as hell. What the fuck? Shit's fire. Alright. Jesus.
Station? Is it really in any shape? Oh! Oh, God. Okay. I was wondering why the smoke wasn't bothering to crawl away. I think he was just staying there for intel. That's a bit of a slow peek by J90. Virtue capitalizing off of that, and now it's Fultz is the last one standing at the bottom of the stairs. Still a minute to go in this round, so very fast pace. Set by SSG, it just does not really gain them much.
Yeah, Fultz with an impossible task now. He's going to set the breaching charge. That'll cause some noise, maybe force them to look at Kitchen, but they know he's coming down the main stairs, Parker. He's got the breaches all open. No good intel inside the site either. His teammates just watching him try the clutch. Three fires going through, but didn't see the first one. Now they know exactly where he's at.
I'm curious what's going on here. If this is just teams still familiarizing themselves with LAN, Jesse, because from our vantage point, a lot of these operators have been on the screen for a little bit longer than usual. If you haven't played on LAN in a while, you do forget that latency functions very differently. The game, it feels completely separate from online play when you're playing on LAN. Robbie got the exit frag, by the way. That round was effectively over with just a little bit over a minute to go, so it was just Fultz delaying the inevitable as BDS to take round number one. A stalwart defense downstairs in the basement.
It's a good little start. Again, for Space Station, you're not so worried about that. You want a bit of a gimmicky play with the Nook. Doesn't work out. That's all right. You lose your first attacking round, and I think the pacing is really important here. It's something we've talked about a lot in North America, how the pace has been pretty quick this season. And for Space Station in particular, they've talked a lot this stage about how it didn't start off so great for them. The start of Stage 2 wasn't that good. They thought they really hit a new high back at EWC. They were really happy with that performance. Of course, finished 4th place overall, losing to Fury in that 3rd place game. So they were a great team over the summer. Started a little bit slower in the fall, didn't exactly get off to the start they wanted, but one thing they wanted to focus on was getting back to their identity. They've always been known as an aggressive team. They've always been known as a fast-paced team. And one thing they did really well in Stage 1 is balance that out a little bit. You know, learn how to play a slower play style, learn how to be a bit different, but they kind of went too far in that direction, they felt. And so a lot of this stage has been about building that back up, becoming a more fast-paced team again, and kind of refinding their place in the meta.
Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
This ace operator is going to be a staple, I imagine, from here on out. If BDS has any real issues, Jesse, I could see a hard breach ban being that 3rd operator taken off the board. But, I mean, if that first round was any indication, the hard breach was really not the factor. Though it is also hard to conceptualize the attack from SSG down Benjamaster, right? If you have a Nook, usually that Nook is going to first start by clearing out that top floor, or it can go through Dirt Tunnel, or it can instead go through Garage and Lounge area and then have control over both.
Another big ban target could be the Ying, which Fultz is bringing out right now. SSG are not a big Ying team. Fultz, through 87 attacking rounds, has only played Ying 4 times in Stage 2, so this is going to be a bit unexpected for BDS. I'm sure it wasn't really something they were thinking about in terms of the bans, but Fultz can be really good with this operator. We know how powerful it can be for taking that space. The initial push for Space Station, of course, will be focused on the cash side. They want to get that space, force out the roamers. Dealing with Robbie and Lazmu, though, is no easy task.
Both of these players had big impact on the previous round. Robbie with 2 kills, and Lazarus Smoke was able to defang some of the push over towards that Moto side of the map. We've got Robbie on the run at this point in time as he plugs some holes and now turns his attention towards that gym bedroom portion of the map. All of this action happening in cache and CCTV might make you think the bomb site's here, but that is not the case. A good aggressive entry from SSG at this point, but no kills yet for either side.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the ops BDS have been playing, right? They get the Clash, they get the Azami. 2 operators really good at staying alive on that that cache extension. Now they can fall back to construction, they can fall back towards the bomb site, and they've still got this 5v5 execute despite wasting a whole lot of time. So I think BDS will be quite happy with the early rounds. Now they can fall back to play their Goyos. They still have the Kibas, they still have the Clash to slow this down as well. Walls are open. They seem to have a lot of angles that they can work with, and a buff who might be looking to go down below as well. But for BDS, I mean, you're very happy with this game state. And also 3 Candelas already used up from Faults.
Just waiting out the flames there is Freak's gas canisters that have gone down, or Goyo canisters. Those are gas in them. I mean, I honestly don't really know what he's using here, but that's 20 seconds. Benja Master is gone, and there's also been a disconnect on the side of SSG. Ashen has been actually vaporized. He's no longer in the server. I'm not quite sure what happened, but obviously not a promising start, and things will go much worse. J9O the only kill, but I mean, you gotta hope for the best at this point. Muir's now staring down 4 players, and it's finished off once again by Robbie, who for 2 rounds in a row will seal the deal. Give BDS another victory. All smiles on the face of Lilu. We're hearing that Ashen's PC crashed, so I'm imagining there will be a small tech pause as Ashen looks to get back in the server. All things going well for BDS at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the PC crash is unfortunate, but
Nice shot.
Some gifts get used once. This one, every morning. Gift it to yourself or someone you love.
Did feel like BDS were in control of that round even before that happened, so I don't think it was a substantial game-changing moment or anything, but still bad luck for Space Station Gaming. You kind of bring it back to Ashen as that primary entry player for Space Station Gaming, right? And we've seen now back-to-back rounds where the opening kill has gone 2P4 against Benjamaster. Very different circumstances, of course. One at the very start of the round, one very close to the end. But even still, it's something that you don't often expect with SSG, because Ashen, I think, on attack is one of the best entry fraggers in the entire world. Usually a 31% entry participation, one of the highest that we have in the league, and he's 19-8 when looking at attacking entries. So, or looking at the entry diff, I should say, in Stage 2. Only Reaps has a better entry differential, and, you know, no offense, but Ashen's not playing against Shark LFO. Maybe Cruelty's about the same. But
we will not stand for any APAC besmirching here, by the way. The good people of APAC have done well today.
You're right. It's been a big day.
All right, Australia won.
Yeah.
Enterprise won their matchup earlier today against Weibo Gaming, which was a bit of a surprise, though. I don't know if any of you watching were following on social media what was happening with Weibo, but they had 2 players in particular who had issues securing visas on time. Noodle, the ever-present journeyman who's played in a bunch of different regions, was here as an emergency substitute just in case. It does not look like he will be needed, though, because all 5 players from Weibo are now present. But that means the players got here late. That means they weren't able to practice. It means that they're likely going to be jet lagged. I mean, hey,
that's a good point.
We flew in from North America yesterday. We're a little bit jet lagged. I can only imagine what that's like as a competitor flying from the other side of the world. So I don't fault them for their slower start. They were still able to go the distance against Enterprise, even if they did fall short. And then a stunning victory over Furia, even if they're not actually from APAC.
They play in the APL.
D+. Comprised entirely of Brazilians, did win their matchup earlier today. So maybe put some respect on that region, Jesse.
Representing South Korea, the only representative they have, of course, and their coaches, South Korean as well. So you do still have that APAC representation coming through. Always nice to see APAC doing well, and I think we've seen that so far. I'm not a hater. I like APAC, but, you know, we also got to speak facts. We're talking about Ashen stats versus Reap stats. I mean, there are different contexts there, but what I was trying to get to before we went off on a bit of an APAC tangent was that I'd like to see Ashen get a little bit more involved in some of these opening picks. It's not gone well for Benja, 0-2 on the entries so far, and I think Ashen is so successful when he plays that role that it's something that I'm sure they're going to be thinking about, something that they want to get more involved in. Of course, his PC does need to work for him to get entry frags.
They're giving him a new one.
They're getting him a new PC.
They're giving him a whole new PC. It's a full PC swap.
Okay,
The
wow.
pit crew is out there right now. You hear the... They're just putting in a new computer. There you go. See, look at that. Yay!
The pit crew is doing a lot of work. I know it's a big day in F1 right now, too. I don't really follow, but Ann was going crazy in the green room, so there's a lot of pit crew work happening today.
I don't like Formula One. I'm not a racist.
I don't follow it either, really.
I mean, that was just a joke of like the racist.
Yeah, no, I connected. Yeah.
They don't have much opportunity for humor out in Alberta, so forgive Jesse here.
Oh boy.
Just as a small note here, obviously, because there is action going on the other stream. It is oddly quiet right now. It's not just Ashen who's going to be quite loud and emotive, but also you've got Troy Canadian who's playing, and he can get quite loud. We actually saw right before we went into the matchup. It went ballistic.
Yeah.
This is a very, very competitive event. And when you look at all of the teams that are here, you're really kind of hard-pressed to think of a team that should be here that isn't. I think there's maybe one or two that could potentially slightly elevate the level of gameplay, but you've got the best of the best that are present. And all of these teams have shown some level of proficiency and even some level of brilliance.
Sure, yeah.
Right? I mean, you've got SSG on your screen right now. Won Stage 1. A lot of people did not have them as the best team in North America. Almost repeated in Stage 2. And they are big game players, frankly. They get better in the bigger moments.
Yeah.
That's why you've got guys like Benjamaster and Fultz on the squad who have done something that only a tiny number of players have done in the history of this esport, which is win a world championship. BDS, while they don't have the same level of experience on their roster, their potential is huge. Freak, Robbie, Lasmu. These are names that people might not know, or Freck. I always want to say Freak for frequency.
You got it.
These are players that people might not generally know.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one deep run or a couple big moments from these players with the spotlight is the biggest, and suddenly now everybody's going to know about them and be talking about them, and it'll completely vault this team up in terms of people's power rankings.
And you don't have to look far for a team that gives you a good example of that. I mean, Team Secret have a lot of players that people weren't talking about. I mean, you go back a year ago, and most of the community didn't even know who Noah was. He was playing Tier 1, but wasn't a player that people talk about much, and now Noah's thrust into the spotlight. Everybody talks about him. Such a great player. Joom on that team as well has been around a little longer, but even still, I mean, there's been some real come-ups in Europe recently.
I mean,
the global phenomenon Dungeons & Dragons is now live on stage, featuring all new technology that allows the audience to choose their path in real time. Your quest awaits at the 20-sided tavern.
Both Joom and Adrian were unable to escape the criticisms of previous events. You know, it was a year ago that you and I stood in Montreal and we watched Adrian put up a really quite poor performance in his role in that live event. And now they've completely turned the corner on it. So it's not even about names you might not know. It's also about players being given new life.
Yeah.
And when you look at somebody like Newers, he's somebody who's been around a really long time. He's been around for a couple years. You know, he came to prominence during that Finca meta, and he got a ton of accusations about being a Finca crutch. And his numbers admittedly did drop off after the operator received some tweaks. Some would call them nerfs, but that's completely besides the point. But now here he is thriving on a team where you've got no shortage of fraggers, right? Like you've got Ashen, you've got Benjamaster. These guys have been able to take over games, and yet Newers consistently perform the best through Stage 2 for this roster. So there are opportunities for you to go through the valley and then climb up to the peak. And whether you're Robbie, whether you're Newers, it doesn't matter. You have opportunities at these events to completely change the way that people perceive you and the way that you leave kind of a legacy at an event and have people view you as a player.
Yeah, another guy I'm going to be looking at to maybe make his mark on the scene has got to be Lasmu, one of the youngest players that we have here in the Munich Major. He celebrated his 20th birthday just on Sunday, and he's a guy who came into this team about halfway through the season last year, back when Bibu and Shinka left the Wolves team, and he was briefly on Wolves before they got re-signed by BDS. Hasn't been to a lot of international events, hasn't been around the world too much, and I think he's a player that has been really surprising on how much he's been able to do for this squad. He plays that kind of support flex role, but he still gets a lot done from that position. Space Station now down 2-0. Their PC is finally working. The tech problems are solved, but we do need an extra 45 seconds because Callout, the coach of Space Station, has decided he wants to talk with his team a little bit, and he'll now get that opportunity to try to right the ship after it's been a bit of a rocky start for Space Station, down 0-2 to start Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's a bit of an alarming sign that they're going to call it so early, but one thing we have touched upon across pretty much all regions is the increase in timeouts in round 2.
Yeah.
Or rather at the tail end of round 2. And there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, you can get a pretty good idea of how the rest of the half is going to shake up. But the more important milestone that's coming up is that third operator ban.
Attackers need to
So
locate and defuse
get your
bombs.
timeout in, try to turn the tide, see if any of the progress can be made. Maybe you win the round, maybe you don't, but maybe it's incremental progress. And then see what the next ban is going to be.
Yeah.
Because right now, there's no real attacking operator that BDS, I feel like, needs to target.
Yeah, I mean, you're up 2-0.
And there's been very minimal good impact on the side of the attackers, right?
Yeah.
Round 1 was a bit of a wash because SSG did get spawn peaked. You lost Benja early. Really hard to predict what happens next. But then round number 2, again, Ashen's PC crashes. 2 pretty bad situations arise that prevent SSG from winning the round. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Parker. And another reason why maybe you want to take attack time out before this round is because you're going to CCTV and cash, and we've got a Monty Capitao ban. So taking Rafters is going to be really difficult for SSG. Getting that extra chance to talk with your team, how are we going to clear Rafters? Are we just going to ignore it and go master side? A lot of teams will have to do that. That's another conversation you can have, and of course, Callout will have some opinions on what he wants his guys to do coming into this game. The first and most important thing will be the main CC wall, and we've got Faults opening that up right now as Benja holds on cover. And then based on this operator lineup, Parker, they honestly could just be saying, screw Rafters, we're going to toss the SEMS walls out through the CC window, and then we won't even have to worry about it. That seems to me like it could be the idea here for Space Station, so they don't even need to care about clearing it.
You can put the Osa shield as well out on that balcony, and you can hold that position. So if somebody's in Rafters, whether there's a hardened rotate, or whether there's just a line of sight, or you need to go through the window from Rafters into the B-bomb site, you've got opportunities. So I like what SSG is providing here, but I mean, Ashen runs right into Virtue, who's very closely guarding that construction, and it's not exactly the start that you want. I don't even think Ashen was able to use any utility. And Newers just walks right in. No Rafters control whatever, Jesse. They get punished for it, and now down goes Benjamaster. I don't really know what the thought process here was from SSG, but I mean, a minute 40 left on the clock, and the round is over. Why? Because of Rafters control. Lasmu gets 3K, a 4K from that position. I believe it was a 3K as he signals on the camera, and probably the worst round for Space Station, and they do it right after their timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not what they were hoping to achieve, and I think as soon as the game plan went out the window, as soon as Ashen died, and listen, I was asking for Ashen to be more involved in the entries. I guess I got my wish, but still doesn't really work out in favor of SSG. It felt like they just had to say, screw it, let's send it. It feels like that OSA might have been really important to their take. So they go through, they do their best, but you mentioned it. I mean, Lasmu, the guy we were just talking about, steps up big time from inside or Rafters. So nicely done by him. We'll have to ban the Clash on the side of SSG, and I was kind of thinking it'd be the Clash or it'd be the Azami. Azami may be a little bit more universally powerful, but the Clash was still really good on that gym bedroom defense that we saw BDS running. And in response, they'll take out the Maverick. Not an operator we saw from Space Station for the first 2 rounds, but of course, that was how they opened up the platform wall in the previous round. So,
I mean, Maverick does have application on the 3 main bomb sites we're going to see, right? If you want to go for a dirt execute, Maverick is a great option, especially if a Bandit's going to be brought or a Mute's going to be brought, and there is some attention on those 2 dirt walls. Maverick can slice right through that. Obviously, the Maverick trick that you see, which is taking out some portions of the wall, and then having soft destruction open it up, he's great on that jacuzzi wall, he's great on cash wall. And hey, if you're defending gym bedroom, you're probably still going to want to open up that CCTV wall. And if you're defending CCTV servers, you're probably still going to want to open up that jacuzzi wall. So a pretty extensive roam right now from BDS. They did bandit off those dirt walls. So the Maverick ban is going to make this really tricky to open up dirt should Space Station want. I will say, just a small thing, Jesse.
Yep.
The stylistic difference of this map was something we discussed before we even played a single round. In North America, this map skews in favor of the attackers. In Europe, much more dominant for the defenders. it's really close to even in NA. So, I mean, the attackers have a tiny leg up. In Europe, it's almost 60-40 for the defenders. So SSG is used to playing a very attacker-friendly clubhouse, and they are on the attacking side. And what is that? What's happened? Nothing. BDS has been in full control all 3 rounds.
Yeah, SSG 44% attacking win rate on Clubhouse through 3 games, so definitely a little bit below the average, but it's yet to find anything so far. J9O gets the entry. Robbie, I believe, just inside of Oil Pick, going for a bit of a sneaky peek, does go down early, so that'll be the first entry frag that SSG will claim here on Club, and that might be exactly what they need to tilt the tides, you know? Going down by 1 player every single round has not done SSG any favors, and so having this frag now, taking down Robbie, who is so incredibly talented, could be a big deal for this late round.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that it's been misfortune, but I mean, every single round has had a big issue for Space Station, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Nook getting spawn peaked. Things stalling out for SSG in round number 2, sure, whatever, but then obviously Ashen crashes. Round number 3, you don't do your due diligence, you try to ignore Rafters. Rafters isn't going to ignore you, you get picked apart in that position. So, this is the first real... competitive round that we have seen to start.
Yes.
Obviously, BDS can still pulverize SSG, so it's far from over. And Freck just got a pick onto J9O, so who knows?
Yeah, you mean you trade that back, but SSG, they got some good utility here too. The Osa is really intriguing. I think he wants to drop the kitchen hatch. We've seen this a lot in the past. It's been a while since I've seen this play, but it can help you on the drop, and he does get down successfully.
J9O, the one who's dead, by the way, has 4 of SSG's 5 kills. Where are the explosives? There's P4 called into action, held well by Ashen. Down goes Virtue. And it's SSG with their claws in this round. Lasmu with 6 kills. He and Freck are going to need to make some magic here against the 3 remaining players on Space Station. Down goes Fultz, spotted through the soft wall. Benjamaster now lords above the defuse kit, as does Newers. 25 seconds remain. BDS will hop on, fall off, trying to bait these SSG players into an advantageous spot. And right now, the patience from Space Station wearing off very effectively. Newers with 1, Freck the other, and Newers will seal the deal, but a very close round for both teams. And it could have broken either way, but SSG just a hair better. They finally get on the board.
A game of inches at the end there. Newers had some really tight angles to try to get those players down below.
We are Canadians and we are in Europe. It's a game of centimeters.
You're right. Game of centimeters.
We are freed from the Americans.
And, well, SSG, they managed to get there. They had some really good plans in that one. And I think that's really the big difference is, yes, they did still lose a player early. They lost J9O, but at least put it into a 4v4, and they were still able to execute on their game plan. You compare that to round 3, and it's like they lose 1 player, but it's a critical player. It's the OSA that they lose, and the whole strat just falls apart after you're unable to keep that operator alive. So Space Station, they get the opening pick, they keep their OSA alive for the execute, they get a great drop in, and everybody at SSG, they're in the right spots. They're holding for that for those players to rotate. They're watching them from Moto, they're watching them from the hatch. They've dropped down into kitchen to support Faults as well. So good play from SSG, everybody putting in together to make that happen, and Faults, the only player yet to find a kill in this lobby, but I think still instrumental in getting that defuse kit down, calling for the round, of course, the captain of Space Station as well, and get them back on board to finally win a round here in Club.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
It was a pretty big team effort from Space Station. I don't really fear Fultz's scoreline at the current point in time.
I just started looking at this.
He tends to perform better.
Hello, everyone.
In the bigger moments. I mean, at this point, you're starting to run into big moment territory.
Oh, yeah.
It is just map/game 1. We are not in best of 3 territory just yet, so it will be best of 1s the entire way through today, tomorrow, and the next day, so buckle up. A lot of Siege action coming on both streams. It'll be a nice long day for us, and hopefully if you enjoy the matches, a nice long day for you too. And what about SSG? Are they long for this earth? Fultz the only kill, P4 and Robbie on the board for BDS. A nice start from the former French team. Ashen on Amaru, not bothering to use the Gara hook, instead just running up the stairs. Now Newers with the reprep. Outduels P4. Supernova to flash. Freck takes down Fultz, down goes Ashen too, and I liked what was attempted by Space Station. The execution was really not as good as the thinking behind it, as they run into all of these defenders who eagerly awaited a push. And BDS will take the first half with still one more round to go. A 5-1 scoreline would be quite the task for SSG to deal with, and that is still very much on the cards for BDS.
Parker, the underdogs are barking here in Munich. We've had some crazy upsets already to start the day, and now in this game, BDS looking like they're going to run away with it. A great fourth round here to come out from them. Space Station going for a bit of a rush. The Amaru up the gym hatch. We've seen that so commonly throughout the league, and it's a bit of a gimmick play sometimes, but they support it with flashes. They supported it with the sends coming through as well, but BDS just read it so perfectly. They were ready for that to happen, and while they weren't able to kill Ashen inside the plants, they put enough pressure onto him that he felt forced to go back down the hatch. He gets into the plant spot and then decides, I can't plant here, I'm gonna die. Goes for the rotate main stairs. I think that was a good call from him, but just no information to take those last couple of kills, unfortunately. So not able to do a whole lot with the flashes they had. Sen's not covering enough for them either. And despite the nice plants in round 4, it just feels like BDS have a really good read on everything SSG want to do.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Viper Strike, how do we play? By the book.
I still get tripped up hearing the operators talk to each other.
We're playing it by the book, Parker.
We're playing it by the book. That was said.
The only problem is it's SSG's book, and that thing is that's a wild book, let me tell you.
SSG
have skip this
gone 1-2 on rounds since calling their timeout. Call out did not.
Looking to get aggressive too.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
All the way inside a gym. If he goes for a jump out, I mean, he's on the smoke, but he's the type of player who would do the gunner on NIP. He's not so young anymore, but one of those players that we talked about quite a bit for this team. We'll have to watch his teammates come through and try to win this one out 4v5. Yazami still being left unbanned as well, playing inside of rafters. I mean, this is a very standard hold from W7M. It's similar to what we saw from them throughout the season. They're trying to use those mirror windows to keep the walls closed. They weren't fully successful, but they've managed to set up a situation here on CC where you're going to have to vault if you want to make it into the site from this position.
This is not really an ideal spot to be in. You're very vulnerable when you're in that position. And there goes the Glaz, who maybe moving with a bit too much haste. Down goes Pino at the hands of Dodez. Nip just punishing W7M, and the man that we've been watching this whole time, Cons, he's the last man standing. Very little damage has been done on the side of W7M. Maybe 30 HP gone from Volps. That's it. A flawless round as they fire through the soft wall. And, well, if you're running with the Bulls like the Ninjas want to, you're going to have to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, good little start to come through there from W7M. Some aggressive swings coming out. Dodez getting in some important picks up inside of rafters. Dots as well, managing to play that bottom garage position. He was trying to extend down below in lounge with that castle, and he managed to get a really important kill about halfway through that round. So it was really nice to see Dots getting on the board. He took out Wizard, of course, playing on that Nomad. So every little swing that W7M went for ended up going their way. We were watching Cons with that push, and he didn't really get swung. Kind of weird as a Glass to see him hop in rather than covering from behind. He also had the defuse kit, so he could have gone for a plant, but choosing to get a little bit more aggressive. You'll see that a lot from an IP sometimes, where they'll make that call to say, go for kills. This isn't a plant strategy. We need to get aggressive. And I think when you're already down a player, thanks to that spawn peak, you kind of do have to go for that, because you're not going to be able to cover every possible angle for W7M to stop that plant. So good attempt by NIP. They can keep all 5 players alive for the first 30 seconds. I think they'll have a bit of a better chance here in round 2.
Not really an opportunity for Nip to do any worse, I suppose. I think the 30 HP that was taken away from Volps is really the only way to improve upon this. I also like that W7M is going to be running back a lot of these operators. Why bother to show a different lineup when it proved so successful the first time, right? Though I guess a little bit of a helping hand that this Nip team was so utterly unsuccessful at opening up that main breach. We saw it in the Space Station game that just preceded this. If you choose to ignore rafters, you do so to your detriment. And, I mean, rafters will be a very important part of this execute, though the bomb site will be on the other side of the map. If you want to take control of cash and then move to construction, you're going to need to flush out rafters, and it is being actively held by W7M.
Loban inside of Jim was tossing some impacts. I don't know if he got the trick off on the Selma. They definitely opened one of those angles. I just don't know if they have the vault angle. Yes. So the impact was able to stop the Selma from fully opening the wall. They're going to have to do a little bit more work if they want to walk through there. Also, we see Palu holding a mirror window aimed right at Jacuzzi. So it's going to be really awkward to try to get in from that part of the map. And I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing NIP now rotate back over towards the cache side. It didn't really work on this part of the map other than just opening up the wall, but now it feels really necessary to start opening up into construction. They've got good drones, so they'll know that these players have rotated off, and they can start taking some of that space for free.
This is Dota's getting pretty aggressive onto the Grim of Wizard. As you see on the side of Nip, they were unsuccessful in getting a kill. Round number one, won flawlessly by the defending Major champions. Looking to repeat, maybe just in a different position. And Palu yet to win a Major. So he was with that Liquid Core for so long that it does kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit when you see guys who've been playing for ages and have really come up unsuccessful. Palu also is no stranger to adversity outside of the server. He's had some really awful personal circumstances befall him, so he's definitely somebody that is really easy to cheer for, frankly.
Yeah, 6 years with Liquid and nothing to really show for it. Now hoping to reinvent himself. His flash are starting to come in, Parker, and the walks will as well. Deep goes Cons, but he's the first to die in this push.
Oh my goodness. The inverse happening now as Cons has died, but it's Ninjas in Pajamas dominating on the kill feed. Dots and Palu are the last two standing from W7M. I mean, at least you've got some good players, but down goes Dots on the stairs, and Palu will need to clutch. Mira trapped inside of a bathroom with a Vector. Yeah, you're not getting out of there alive, buddy. Hates the final kill, and Nip strike back with a very formidable round of their own.
Yeah, honestly, it felt like W7M were in control for a lot of that round, but when the kills came in, they came in extremely fast for NIP. You saw the collapse coming through from some of these players that were able to maybe walk up those main stairs. That's where Fantasy came from on the demos. You saw Hates getting inside of Jim and starting to really cause some panic for W7M as well. So just getting their key fraggers into important position when they go for that execute to make sure they had all guns alive to lock that one down. Nice little answer back, and I think at the very least, we're looking at a more competitive start, Parker, than BDS Space Station.
No, absolutely. I mean, it took until the third round, fourth round.
Yeah. I mean, it took a long time before we saw both teams with a round in our previous games, so
Yeah.
good to see it sooner.
Still way too early to tell who's going to be wrestling with the ultimate kill lead on this team, but offensive threats still very much there. Again, for W7M, it is quite top-heavy.
Yeah.
For Ninjas in Pajamas, what we often found and what tended to happen with Nip, at least during the playoffs when you and I casted them, was as goes Fantasy, so goes Nip. So if Fantasy does not show up, the round is very tough for Nip to win. Now, obviously, Fantasy getting a kill in the previous round. Hates as well, near the top, or usually at the top of every round for Nip 2. So we do tend to shine a bright spotlight on Fantasy, but don't discredit Hates' contributions either.
No, for sure. And the reason I think why the round often follows Fantasy is because he's so commonly also either the opening pick or the opening death. The single highest entry participation on attack of all the players attending this major at 37%. So you really do see him involved in the early round quite commonly. Hasn't been able to find too much success so far through these first two rounds, but I do anticipate that'll come through quickly. They see the Azami playing here in secret. That's Paulo as he backs off into lounge, get back. I say back to his team, but it's a basement defense, so maybe aggresses a little bit more out of that sticky situation. We see Dots come up the stairs to try to support him. Can he recover this? Because they are really putting the pressure on it.
I mean, if there's anybody who's going to be able to swing his way out of this position, it's going to be Palu. All the while that this is happening, there's a focus from Nip to not get too bogged down in just a singular defender. Now you've got to focus on Rafters, which has been a staple of this W7M defense through 2 rounds now, 3.
Keep us secured!
Palu was shaken off of that position on blue, and yet he endures, and he knows that there's somebody in close proximity as he hears them breaking the Kiba barrier he set up. Blue control is often so critical for taking this bottom floor bomb site, and it will not come easy for Nip. They're going to have to fight their way through all of it.
They spent so much time on Palu, Parker, but Loban has barely been addressed. He finally gets droned, pushed out with the Flores as well, or sorry, the drone coming through from NIP, but still, this is a problem. They cannot enter kitchen as long as Loban exists up top floor.
And Loban gets finished off by Hates, so he decided instead of holding his position over by Logi, he rotated towards server, rotated towards red, and he got punished for it. That's a great read by Nip to capitalize off of it. And it also freed up the utility. Hates did not expend a death mark to find him. So now what does he do? He immediately uses it back on Palu because, again, blue control is something that Nip so desperately wants. They've got a minute to get it, but they have to shake Palu out of that position, who's a bit entrenched with those keeper barriers.
And Bolts is fighting for his life. He gets naded out by Khan's excellent Blackbeard play to come through. So powerful with that util. Dots goes down to Pino as well. I mean, this has been a bloodbath in the basement.
You know who's still alive on the side of W7M?
Palu.
Palu is still alive. The man of the hour, the guy who was being chased away on blue stairs. He and Dodez will now link arms with one another. Dodez, the highest rated player on the side of W7M. He makes his presence known immediately, finding one. But Wizard shuts him down with a nice two-piece of his own. Finally getting Palu, who was a wanted man, being addressed by multiple players on the side of Nip. But Patience ends up winning the day. They find an opportunity to get Palu down by boxes.
It's good that they didn't get stuck on that, right? Because it was a big part of the early rounds there, but they didn't just throw everything trying to clear out an Azami from Secret Stairs. That's a tough spot to be in. So instead, they say, we can go top floor, we can clear out Loban. We can go dirt tunnel, we can clear out the smoke. We have all of these other angles to work on picks, and they performed fantastically through those spots. I think using the Blackbeard especially to get that kill inside of dirt tunnel was absolutely critical from NIP. So good quick thinking from them. They managed to get the lead early through that first quarter, and after the operator bans come through as well, they might have a bit more of an opportunity to extend this lead here on Clubhouse, where they've lost so many times up against W7M. Battling some of their demons now. The Mira and the Thermite ended up getting removed. So the Mira makes it pretty much impossible to keep the walls closed now that she's no longer on the board. And the Thermite, it's just going to make things a little bit more awkward in terms of how big of a hole you're going to be able to open the wall. Will you have to crouch through? Will you have to vault through? Now it's going to be a bit more likely you will.
It was addressed in our earlier cast when we saw SSG and BDS go to this map, Jesse, is how it is played in every single region, whether it be bomb site rotation, whether it be operators picked, so on and so forth. Space Station coming from North America, they're used to an attacker-sided clubhouse. That's the way it breaks down in NA.
Yep.
In Europe, it's quite defender-sided. In Brazil, it's a little bit more defender-sided.
Yeah.
So it's not an extreme jump, but you expect the defenders to take, at minimum, 3 rounds. W7M is already behind that.
Yeah, it's especially true in NIP's game. They only have a 36% attacking win rate on this map through 14 rounds. So they do not like their attacks typically when playing on club, but today they've been excellent, and they start with a decent lead here against W7M. So you got to be feeling good if you're the Ninjas. Now, how do you respond after you lose that Thermite? Well, you're going to have to do a lot more work when it comes to the hardboard. We've got the Ace coming out from Pino. We've got the Maverick coming out from Wizard. We've got can openers on Cons as well. And it seems like they're going to take the opportunity to clear out Master with this new utility. Loban is roaming inside a gym, but feeling like there's just too much pressure inside of Rafters. Teams have struggled with that all day today. And so deciding we're going to challenge this roam instead and see what kind of map control we can get.
These two teams, when they faced each other back on September 13th, in the SA League, they went to Clubhouse. They went all the way 15 rounds.
Yep.
It was W7M who won that nail-biter, but both of these teams cleaned up as defenders. It was a 4-2 scoreline on both halves. So Nip are already where they were when they were attacking, and there's still 3 more rounds to go. This and the 2 more that follow. So setting themselves up very effectively.
I'll say though, I don't know if I love this attack so far from them. They've taken almost half the round, and they still haven't dealt with Loban inside of Jim. He's got some friends over here too. Palu just playing Master Bedroom, spending a lot of time on this jacuzzi wall, which still remains closed. It's opened by the Flores as I speak. So this is finally opened up, but that took 90 seconds, and these players could still fight their way out of here and walk away with a man count.
Almost all of the utility on the side of W7M is designed to slow you down too. So if you are not beating the clock, if Nip is running a little bit behind on time, their job is going to get even more challenging in these final 30 seconds, right? Thankfully, you've still got a little bit over a minute to go, but when that execute comes out, you're going to get bogged down. So what do? Maybe you just take the gunfight right to them, Nip. With 2 kills, Palu answers back. Loban on the board. And Nip have been reduced to just 2. Hates and Pino right now with very little going for them. A Banshee will give away the game for Pino as he swings in, missing an opportunity to capitalize off of Loban. Over towards weight room. As now Loban will get his revenge, circling around, hates the vault in, and there's multiple players on the side of W7M staring in his direction. The Bulls pick up another round.
Bomb site was CCTV cash. It didn't feel like it, but all of the fighting really happening towards that roam game, and I honestly think you got to give credit for W7M to read into that. Recognize that NIP, they got the wall open, but they're not there anymore. They don't care about rafters. They're full focusing on clearing master control, and when you've got a guy like Paulu sitting inside a Logi, sitting in that strong position, you throw everything to support him. Loban went down early. We saw Dots rotate into Logi as well, also go down early, but Paulu really bails him out in that round. Hit some brilliant shots, 2 headshots back-to-back onto Cons and Fantasy, which really starts to pick things up now for W7M. Gets him 2 kills in that round, goes up to 3 overall, and ties the game here after 4.
I mean, what's the likelihood here that W7M is able to win the next 2 rounds and take a 4-2 half? I mean,
pretty decent.
I think it's definitely there.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, NIP have definitely, with the exception of that very first round, which was a rough one.
Yeah.
Which was admittedly a rough one.
That was a small peak.
NIP have been fine matching up against the aggression. I think the read on the previous round was correct. Look, you've got all this utility, again, that is going to bog you down. Castle barricades that have been mostly opened up, but intel that's being denied by the mutes. You're dealing with the Banshees put in very good places by W7M. Usually around the main breaches and windows, so that the moment you get close to the bomb site, they know. And the reason why W7M stacked up all that utility over by the bomb site is because of how extensive their roam was offsite. Right? You can use utility to assist an offsite roam. That's not really what W7M wanted. They wanted to slow you down so that when NIP did go and push came to shove, W7M had intel, and they played off of that very effectively. NIP just did not have an answer, and NIP's decision, let's just go for it, was, I think, the right call, but I mean, it's sometimes the defenders just have such an advantage. It's too hard to overcome.
Yeah, you can make the right call and still not win the round. Yeah. Obviously, execution's incredibly important too, so NIP, still lots to work with. This is a brand new look from W7M on the gym bedroom bomb site. Completely different operator lineup coming through from them. Got a bit of an extension inside cash, but that's really not where NIP have been focused. This main jacuzzi wall taking up a lot of their time. The Flores looks like it's going to be used to open it up once again, so exactly the same as the last round. Shouldn't be any problems with that one as it does get popped open. The Mira, of course, banned out after the first 3 rounds, so you won't have that looking at you from bathroom like you previously did. And now that they've got that wall open, they can extend back over towards cash. There were Dodez and Volps playing on this side of the map. They are both still here. Red Stairs and Cash are the positions.
Flores really is an excellent operator to counter most of this lineup. The only issue that they might run into is where those mute jammers are put by Volps. Obviously, mute jammers being one of the single best counters to deal with Flores drones, but those Rotero drones will find themselves eliminating those F-Nauts, eliminating whatever Goyo effects are strewn about bulletproofs, and then, of course, the Kiba barriers. So good choice by NIP to bring this operator. Just a little bit over a minute to go now, and neither team yet to come to many blows. Loban took a little damage earlier on. That was when the Maverick was Maverick tricking the wall. Now, though, this is W7M entrenched by Cash, and they're going to have to swing their way out of this position. Down goes Pino. Wizard flicking over, finding 2, and suddenly it's anybody's game.
A highlight reel on both sides. Makes it a 3v3, Parker, but the time's going to favor W7M. It took so long to get that control. Now 40 seconds. It's not the end of the world. They do still have their util here. 2 smokes on Hates and some flashes for Cons, but they got to make their way through construction. They got to get up onto those windows outside the bomb site. And they got to somehow work a plant inside from their current position. Logi being held by W7M as well, so they don't have all the angles that they can want to push for. W7M have a good read of where this is coming from, and the time's going to be low, but NIP, at least this man count does look even.
They'll swing now over and turn their attention towards that jacuzzi side. They've got 1 trapped in bathroom. That's Paulu who's laying down, but Loban will strike while all of NIP's attention is elsewhere. And Dots shows up to claim the final kill. And you said it was very possible for them to win out and go with a 4-2 half. NIP getting 2 rounds pretty early on might be their saving grace. As now W7M moves with the lead to the very final round of their defensive stead.
And a lot of it just comes down to the patience that they had over towards the cash side. Again, it was 2 huge kills from Dodez that started that round off, got them into that very brief man advantage that they had over on that side of the map. And Dodez, he's been doing that all stage long. He currently has the most raw number of kills in Stage 2 across all regions, across all teams, 233 coming into this game. And then after the game he's had so far, that'll be 238 just through the first 5 rounds of Clubhouse. And raw numbers of kills is sometimes a deceptive number because some teams will play more games than others. But it's important to note that most of the games that get played end up happening in APAC. If you look at the top 10 players who have the most number of kills this stage, you have Dodez number 1, you have 2nd through 9 are all APAC players because they have the APAC finals, which just gives them more games, and then in 10th place you've got Shaiko. So it's really a short list of players who've been putting up this many frags, and it's very impressive what Dodez has done this stage.
And I'm very glad you raised that point, because even within Brazil, there's a huge disparity. Ninjas in Pajamas coming into this event have played 197 rounds from Stage 2 till now. W7M have played 71 more rounds than NIP has. 197 rounds for NIP across 16 maps. W7M have played 24 maps with 268 rounds. So a lot more miles on the tires of W7M just from the beginning of Stage 2 onward.
It means a lot of footage too, and with how commonly they play Clubhouse, they've played it 12 times this stage, including Copa Sul-Americana. I mean, there's a lot of footage. This aggressive strat might not be something that they're ready for, though, on NIP. They have revamped the books a little bit. There's a lot of top-floor roamers that NIP seem very hesitant to fight.
One of which happens to be over towards Stock. Fantasy guns down Dodez. He was playing for himself in his position, and now he is completely gone. 1 minute to go, and he flushed out a pretty important roamer. Lobin still remains. Oh, no, he gets tagged by it. Almost evaded the bees of Wizard, but has now been spotted as he runs downstairs. So you know that there was one off-site who's found some salvation in the bottom floor bomb site. NIP looking to close this gap. A 3-3 first half would be better than the last time these teams tussled on this map, and would set NIP up really effectively to go into their defending half in what is the favorable side in Brazil.
It's a bit of a deceptive lead, though. I mean, this is a very strong bomb site for the defenders, and even in a 4v5, you can do a lot of good work. You see the util being played, too. The Denari setup just on the stock hatch means that it's gonna, or the moto hatch, I should say. It's going to be very awkward to drop into that room. You're going to take a ton of damage. You might just die. You're going to have to clear that out at some point, either with some PMPs, or I know they got some nades on their lineup as well. So lots to worry about, lots of problems still to solve if you're NIP. The top floor control is good for you, but you don't have more than a sledge. You've got Daniels to try to work on this as well. 2 hatches open, the kitchen hatch still closed, but there's plenty of can openers to try to make that happen. The problem is it's dangerous, and Palu punishes them for going for the kitchen hatch. He takes out Hates.
And just a bad timing there from Pino. Just a bad set of timing. He completely misses it. I don't know if the calculation's been made on the side of NIP either that W7M are without a nitro cell. So any potential explosives, you can take a good sigh of relief. Pino team kills Cons. That is unideal. And now it's Fantasy against 4, Fantasy against 0. Lobin will get the final kill. Fantasy is in the ground. He will fight his demons, and a 4-2 half does indeed come to fruition. It was 2-1 for NIP. And that was with the very first round being a blowout for W7M. But 2 quick answered rounds by Ninjas in Pajamas will buy them a bit of time, as the defenders do have an advantage on this map, at least through 1 round and subsequent plays or previous plays that we saw here on Clubhouse. W7M will now go on to attack.
Yeah, and a really great half from Lobin as well. You mentioned him. 6-2 is his stat line after the first 6 rounds. So putting up some really big kills here to help W7M take that lead. Turned 23 on Tuesday, so happy birthday to him coming into this major, and would love to repeat as champions for a little birthday present coming into this event. I do think that for W7M, it feels very business as usual this game, doesn't it, Parker? You've got the same map that you always play against, the same team you always play, with the same halftime scoreline that you always seem to have here. So don't count out NIP, because we'd expect an overtime if this does continue the trend. But I do think some of their attacks, maybe just getting a little bit caught by some of that aggression. W7M always a team to hunt for those picks, to get back in your face and make sure you don't survive with a man advantage for long. So good to see them playing to their play style, and now they'll have to do the same thing on their attacks, which again have been not as successful as their defenses, but they do have a slightly higher overall average, 48% on Clubhouse on their offensive side.
W7M wasn't doing anything really that unorthodox with their roams, and yet it still seemed to trip up Nip on their entries. I mean, that just does kind of come with this map, right? There's a lot of flexibility on a map like Clubhouse. You can turtle on most bomb sites, you can do a slight extension on most sites, you can do a full extension on sites, and you can roam all over the map. There were times where we saw W7M take that top floor and hold it aggressively, other times where they fell off almost right away, or they were playing aggressively near the site. There he goes, he got it. And it does require you to spend quite a bit of time droning it out. If there's nobody roaming, it still takes about a minute to a minute and a half to fully drone and fully clear this map, irrespective of the bomb site. So that really is a challenge for all of these attacking teams. How will W7M handle it?
Well, they're going to have to go against a pretty heavy roam game in this one. You've got an Azami Apino just sitting in kitchen. He takes so much damage behind the Blackbeard, but does escape with his life. Deals a lot back to Volps in the process, so nobody dead, but pretty damn close on both of these two sides. Pino wasn't the only roamer either. You still got Fantasy, who's sitting inside a stock, Wizard inside a bar, Hates on the Clash as well, playing lounge. So there are a lot of ninjas on the mid floor of Clubhouse that W7M really have not been able to look at just yet. It's taken them a long time just to clear out Pino, and now we see Fantasy going for a walk up the red stairs. There's nobody on the attacking side right there to meet him, but you have to imagine that comes quick as Paulo gets his on.
Loban the first casualty. Wizard guns him down. Fantasy gets one as well. What did we say about the way that W7M was roaming? And now Nip finds themselves able to repay that favor to W7M, holding court upstairs, going either undroned or uncontested. And Fantasy will now take over sole control of second place on his team in kills, just trailing Wizard. And it's reduced W7M to 3 operators.
Now you're in a really awkward spot as the attacking team. They happily go back to the basement. And I mean, Paulo, I think, in particular, a player who dies with 2 logic bombs in his pocket, wasn't able to get any of that util out then. Up against such an aggressive roam setup from NIP, you have to wonder if that could have tilted the scales back in W7M's favor. Not something they can dwell on at the moment. They've got 60 seconds to make some kind of a plan. Dots is looking at Oil Pit for where he might entry, and he does commit to that, dropping now into the sightline to Pino. They get the kill. That's the first one they needed of 5.
It's Volps who gets it, who's had a very quiet day so far, yet also has 4 kills on his team. The frags on W7M obviously in a much healthier spot than what we see from Nip. Now it's Dots sustaining some damage inside of blue. The pitter-patter sound of the UMP giving away Wizard's position. He's beheaded immediately by the Blackbeard, and another almost falls as Fantasy needs to retreat. All the while, Hates is holed up here at this door, stopping the advance, but there's now a split push as a drop from Dodez comes in, turns over towards blue, and they shred through them. My goodness. W7M takes a very critical round and stretches their lead only 2 away from putting Nip into the history books and down 0-1.
Sometimes, man, I don't know how W7M do it. You could not have had a better early game from NIP. You crush on the roam. You get a 2-man advantage. You waste pretty decent time. You get everybody back to the site alive and, well, more or less healthy. Bit of damage on a Pino. But it really felt like NIP had everything going their way. But then what happens? You see Dots sneaking in through Oil Pit. Gets that kill onto Pino, right? Calls for his teammate. Then he hits a brilliant headshot. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, we've just lost blue control. Everybody's got to focus on that. Let's panic. Let's look at blue control. And then Dodez drops down the kitchen hatch, and it's like, you guys have really messed up at this point. Opens that gap. And I mean, W7M are so good at finding those weaknesses, exploiting them, and forcing you to panic.
10 seconds remaining.
Every single time you capitalize off of a mistake, you still do need to talk a little bit about the mistake. I have to wonder why Nip didn't have any attention outside of blue. You know the numbers. They're very visible. You see that there are still 3 players remaining, and you only know 2 of them are blue. That means there's 1 player unaccounted for. Yeah. How do you not have somebody watching church or the main hall or kitchen hatch? Why have you got all 3 sets of eyes focused on 2 players when you know in the back of your mind there's still 1 more? Now, maybe there was a bad call. Maybe Intel could have said, yeah, there's 1 more blue stairs. Yeah, there's another that dropped Oil Pit. All 3 of them are there. If they're wrong, that's a devastating loss because obviously they were wrong.
I think it just comes down to panic, you know, and sometimes you overfocus on the big scary Blackbeard walking at you and you don't think about what could be coming up from behind. So, well, they'll get some more opportunities. Their second defense goes upstairs. They're going to try to lock things down here now to extend this game and claw their way back from the 5-2 deficit they find themselves in. Fantasy playing a very similar position to where Lobin was back on their own CCTV cash defense with a heavy extension over towards Master. W7M, just like NIP, look like they want to clear this and look like they're happy to spend some time working through these players.
Tracker active.
Finding themselves in a bit of a scary spot here. Their two best performing players both underwater. The only positive KD on the side of NIP is Wizard. Wizard sat pretty squarely in the middle of this team throughout all of Stage 2 and onward. Copa Sula Americano, of course, will also change those numbers because these teams are competing in not just the SA League, they are playing in other matches. Fantasy's been one player that's been a bit under the microscope. What is he able to do? Well, he feeds them into Wizard and then finds one of his own, running away, taking down Dodez. Volp's also gone, and Lobin on borrowed time at this point. Getting dealt with by the Clash. Dot slowed down. There's the Deimos to the rescue, attempting to knock this operator over, and Fantasy will find himself a 3K to stem some of the bleeding on the side of NIP. You lose that round, W7M goes to match point. And for a team that has very high expectations and are looking for, frankly, a bounce back to the glory days of NIP, they need to make a statement here in the Swiss system. They need to start putting up rounds and ultimately cannot afford to start off 0-1 or 0-2.
Yeah, nice round coming out too from both Fantasy and Wizard. All 5 kills collected by just those 2 players on the side of NIP. And the opening kill actually wasn't anything to do with the master clear. It was all the way over on platform outside the main breach. Volps ended up going down to Wizard. And then we saw Fantasy start to explode from Logi. Then we see the Wamai of Wizard rotate back in, and they get to play that duo, shutting down the 4-man push from W7M inside of Master. So both teams, I would say, committing quite heavily to clearing the Master Roam on that bomb site, and both teams really falling flat on their face.
I completely agree. That was a bit of a sloppy round, but you know what? There are bound to be some sloppy rounds in the early days, especially as teams still find their footing. For some of these squads, it's been almost a full calendar year since they were able to play on land at an event against other, I guess you could say, tough opponents. Here it feels very familiar for these teams, right? Because they are both playing from the same region. How many times? You said 7 times they've clashed?
Yes, just this stage.
That
No,
is
this season.
That is an absurd amount.
This is the 7th, yeah.
Yes. W7M have the advantage in pretty much all of those, and the expectation is based on how they performed through the playoffs that W7M will be able to come out ahead here. Now, they've got their work cut out for them because they're attacking across many regions. This map is more defender-sided. There are obviously some outliers, but in Brazil, these teams like to defend. The defenders excel. It is a defender-sided map.
Fantasy actually running out of Dirt Tunnel at the moment. He was over in that area, but he goes back in. I think the Lion Charge scared off a little bit. He was trying to get aggressive on Jacuzzi Breach. You see the Lion being deep underground. So this is good information from W7M. Nice timing from Lobin. Be able to catch that out, make sure that nothing crazy can happen for the players who might have been over towards Jacuzzi side. The rest of this push has been focused on just opening the walls closer to CC, and that's going to be the main priority, right? Clear these players out of the position. Dot survives from that Nitro Cell, takes no damage, and makes the wall soft so his teammates can start to work on clearing the roam.
It was very well done. He knew that it was coming on the side of Hates. You've also got somebody who has a Nitro Cell in close proximity. Now, this is also information, right? He knows that the only Nitro on the team is likely in the hands of the Mira. So because of that, you know the Mira is nearby. That is some intel that you can relay to the rest of your team. Where is the Mira going to reside? Probably inside of Logi. So now if you got the hatch open, you can begin to pressure that part of the map too. Main impediment now with this breach open, looking into servers, looking into cache, is the Clash. The Clash of Wizard is doing double duty here. Nip holding on for dear hope. Wizard has been exceptional so far through this match. He will not be available for the remaining minute as Dodez gets the lead-off pick.
Dodez doing what he does best on the entry. That's a great start on the Clash of all operators. Dot's not done either, making sure they can find this value. Leaves Fantasy all alone, but they're worried about the main breach, Parker. There's push coming from all directions from W7M.
Namir is still positioned over towards Logi. Dots finds another. Hates with his second kill. Both he and Fantasy doubled up on that Logi doorway. Fantasy moving his arsenal over towards weight room. narrowly avoiding the damage that's being done as the gas canister still continues to go. That's part of the new additions to Siege X. Down he goes, and it's all up to Hates. Getting droned out now, pushing over towards construction. Dodez and Palu could easily pinch him, and they'll do just that. Lucifer himself will get the final 2 kills, and it's match point for W7M.
And Palu and Dodez playing so well together in that moment. That's a scary round for W7M. Sure, you've got the advantage, but as soon as Fantasy pushes into Jim and downs the planter, he does that through the fire. That's terrifying for W7M, but what do? They play the 2v1 so perfectly. Dodez is purposely making noise on the condor. He even shows the barrel of his gun, intentionally or not. So Hates is so paranoid about that, and it just opens the door for Palu to walk in from Jim, secure that kill, working off each other 1 and 2 so damn well. Forces NIP to call that tack timeout. Now they're facing the match point as W7M will go up 6-3, and they'll have a chance to talk about exactly what's been going wrong through this game. Their defensive half is usually where they thrive against the Bulls, but it hasn't been there today.
So timeout being taken after those operator bans have kicked in. I mean, this might be just arranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, so to speak.
Yeah, could be.
It is not unheard of for a team to win 3 defenses in a row. Hey, W7M did just that in the first half. So not all hope is lost here for Nip. This is still much closer than the 6-3 scoreline would suggest. But that's if we ignore the way that W7M has gone about picking apart these Nip defenses. It's not so much that you're on the favorable side of the map, it's how you choose to play it. Because even if a map is so overwhelmingly defender favored, that only really helps you if, A, you're on that day.
Yep.
You've got 1 or 2 players who failed to load into the server. Doesn't really matter if you're playing a map that's 80-20 in favor of the defense. The map is only going to do so much. You need to do the rest, right? Nip have shown that some of their players are really quite ineffective at holding map control through the defenses we've seen. W7M have been surgical with the way they're using their drones and the way that they're punishing these players. And round after round, Jesse, we keep seeing Nip left with 2 or 3 players who are in generally the same area. You don't want that, because what happens is W7M is able to corral you and force you to fight at the same spot and punish you both times.
Yeah, it's tough, especially, too, when you're a defensive team down 6-3, because you now have to win all 3 bomb sites. You don't get the chance to just repeat. You've got to be good on every single site, and even if you're a strong defensive team on club, like NIP are, again, 82% defensive win rate on this map, that doesn't mean you're good at every single bomb site. And in fact, CCTV Cache is one they've really struggled on, less than 50% win rate through Stage 2 so far. Now, ironically, it was the only site that they won through the 3rd quarter, so maybe that stat's getting flipped on its head a little bit, but it still kind of brings up the point that for NIP, they're going to have to be versatile, have to play many different styles of defense to pull this game back. Part of that means playing just up on that mid-floor. Wizard on the Azami was inside of Lounge. He's a player that they've been watching for in a position that we saw Palu do some great work in, but lots of problems still being presented towards W7M. Fantasy and Hates on a top floor roam that needs to be cleared at some point too.
Keep our positions.
I like that they're changing some things up here on Nip, though they are still staying with a very familiar set of defenders. Clash, Azami, and Ella find great value when you're defending off-site. Close quarters engagements are usually areas where they thrive. I will say, though, the Clash has been exceptionally ineffective, far less effective than you've come to expect from this operator. I don't frankly know. I don't frankly know how Nip can change the deployment of that op to slow down W7M's advance. It has not worked out so far.
No, I mean, it's been an operator Cons has loved throughout his time on NIP, and I think it's a good op on club too, but today it's just not really finding the value. This roam game is still not being challenged, and that's because W7M are in the bomb site.
They've got a shield in. Down goes Pino. Guns a-blazing right now from inside of blue. Cons dies too. Fantasy with the only kill to this point for Nip. They will have to fend against the hordes as they stare down 4 angry players looking to send this one away. Fantasy will drop. He was the lone bit of salvation. Wizard dies as well. Can Hates save the day? He's found a single kill. He'll see the blitz. Bullets deflecting off of the shield. Loban getting diffuser down. Palu and Dots to cover. Hates inside of blue. Attempting just about anything, but the freight train comes and flattens Nip. W7M runs away with this one and secures a relatively quick victory over Nip.
And for the 6th time this season, they will take down NIP, and frankly, in a more dominant fashion than what we're used to seeing between these two teams. That's one of the best games W7M have played against NIP since the season began, since they picked up Palu. They are looking on fire to start off the tournament here in Munich. Really nicely done by them. There was a good start from NIP. You know, they had a couple of good rounds. It felt like their first side, their attacks were looking actually quite sharp on this map, but once they moved to the defense, W7M were reading them like a book. If they roamed, they rushed the site. If they were all on-site players, they would take that map control, and it just felt like they were in control from top to bottom. Really good game by W7M.
I mean, that's why you play the whole series, right? But when it was 2-1 NIP, there was a vibe shift that had happened. And I thought, okay, the NIP that we saw through the group stages is here. This is the team that we constantly talk about potential. The potential on this roster. You won the group stages. Yeah, you almost missed qualifying for the major, but you're here now. You've got experience. Every team that's coming from Brazil has played on LAN at some point, either domestically or internationally. So these players have experience, but experience doesn't take you all of the way. NIP have strategic issues that they need to sort out. You saw them against Los, you saw them against FaZe Clan, you saw them here against W7M, and this NIP team can absolutely catch fire and make some noise. But with the way that APAC looked earlier today, NIP, who now finds themselves in an 0-1 position, could very easily go down 0-2 and even go out 0-3 with how tight these games are going to be and how good some of the teams we saw earlier today played.
Yeah, there's some terrifying teams in the lower bracket through this Swiss stage so far. So as soon as all the games are wrapped up, we can go through that draft and we'll get to find out what the next set of games looks like. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Quickly on the stats, big game from Dots. By far the most rare player to see topping the scoreboard for W7M. Guy loves to plant, guy loves to breach, guy loves to play shields. But if you're playing Blackbeard and you get some of those kills, well, then sometimes you can still manage.
Losing from that position. Not a good start for Furia. Certainly not a good start for their star player, one of the three-headed star players. A lot of work still to be done in the round before they can get the Montaigne of Philippox poising for an execute.
Yeah.
Clearing some Banshees with the nades. Oh, that's awkward.
Is this worth to grenade is my question. You can shoot the second you drop down, but then again, the slow kind of sucks. Good news for Furia, they lost the least important execute operator, right? It's going to be in the recruit, so they still got the Ying Chaos, still got the Muncie stability, still got the information from the Grim Beast, and here they come, 25 seconds, they got to act quickly.
And down goes Philippox. Out go the Candelas from JV. Surf is still in that position at AKs. And Canadian tosses a big Nitro Cell over the top. Rexon to finish it off with an impact grenade. Ambi has it on lock, and Furia are floundering as they fall one by one into the bomb site. Nade with it all to do. He does not last.
Okay.
Shopify Rebellion making a statement in their opening defense.
It's actually crazy how a singular impact grenade can shift the entire outcome of that round. So Monty drops down full HP. Surfs has one spare impact grenade in pocket and tosses it at the Monty's toes. He's now at about 70 or so health, and because of that, the C4 that lands right in front of him, despite the shield being fully open, actually kills him. If that impact grenade doesn't do damage, he can tank the C4, being low on health, of course, and go for a plant. They had the Green Beast, they had full information, they had the Ying Flash pop in as well. Small things can make or break these rounds.
And it's hard to land impact grenades. It's not as simple as you see a shield, you throw the impact at them, and they're dead. No, not at all.
It's a very small radius.
It's very small radius. Impact grenades have been nerfed in the last few years, of course, compared to back in the day when we used them a lot for impact juggling on hard breach. So, yeah, very skill-related. Good start from Shopify Rebellion. From Troy's Boys, I should say. Troy's Boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard, there was a... So apparently A-Stream, they hear the tactical timeout sometimes.
Yes.
And somebody thankfully clipped it and put it on Twitter or X. And Super's tag timeout was a lot about, you know, when they were up 6-3 and losing going to overtime, he was like, guys, if you're anxious, just breathe, don't worry about it, like reset. It was very mental focused, more so than like strategical necessarily. And then after that mental thing, it's like, oh guys, these are my thoughts. I think this bomb should be a next OT, not this one for this reason. So it's very much like, guys, you know, don't worry about it, lock in, mental reset. Don't sweat it too much despite losing these rounds. Composure.
Yeah, I like it. A lot of people really undervalue the importance of the mental aspect of Siege. A lot of teams have Mental coaches. We talked about that last game. I can't remember which
Secret.
team was Secret, is it?
Yeah.
Especially a
Secret,
team as aggressive and volatile as
And
Secret.
young.
You need it. And young.
Influenceable,
yes.
you know, it's one of those.
Quite the contrast to a lot of what we see recently. I've seen clips of, the Jinxie generation and their style.
Have you seen the Sky qualifier matches?
I think that was the one that I
on
watched.
Clubhouse, the teammate in the background.
Dude, everyone
is
is just yelling at him, like, stop backseat gaming the poor guy.
It's like
stop
7-7. The guy's like, why are you doing this? Like,
stop whinging about how you died. Let your teammate clutch up, brother.
they did clutch, but no thanks to that guy.
Yeah.
No, it's true. The mental game can be very tricky in seeds. There's a lot of things that are kind of suffocating you in the server. Gadget utility, yellow pings, all these different small details you have to constantly worry about and try, like chess, right? Be one step ahead, or you might just be on the losing end of things. Furia, again, a little bit slow to the punch, but Rexon down to a single point of health, has to stay alive. Has an important C4 that can be utilized later. He also got 3 kills in the previous round, and he'll be vital in these gunfights. Fury, they're fishing. Hard destruction on the windows, looking for an angle. But Shopify Rebellion ain't giving them a single angle to work with.
There's still more util to burn, though. I think that was another one of the Vulcans finally getting taken out. But Furia, strangely, are not hard clearing from cache CCTV, which is the way most teams would push this.
I'm curious what their way in is, right? Because they don't have the chaos of a Ying this round. There's no shield to lead the entries either. They have Grim Bees and some flashes and nades. That's all they have to work with. As you said, don't have connector control, not attacking office, not taking CCTV, no pick. And there's 45 seconds left. I mean, they gotta jump in a window and through a breach soon, which is, look at this breach. It's a smiley face. It's not a clean entry.
Yeah. Now, the key here for Fury, the win condition, is finding kills, finding picks from these exposed positions. Who is that in bathroom? They're about to face a world of pain. Ambi has just found a double kill on the Warden. He puts Fury on the back foot, and Surf is there to support as well. It's up to Philippox, but no, a flawless round for Shopify Rebellion as the North Americans fire up. Fury are not in this. Fury have just lost 2 rounds on the trot.
Look at Jamie's face. I mean, Philippox whiffed every bullet in that one. He's like, spraying his outline, left, right, up, down. Not a single bullet connects. And we can make fun about APAC teams all we want, or bottom barrel NAEU teams. It's fine. This is Furia.
These guys are
they don't miss.
The only 2-time major champions in history.
Yeah. They cleaned the whole year.
They did. I mean, a whole 12-month period where they won everything. And a lot of people after that thought, oh, maybe they got a bit complacent. They got a bit washed, but they went and won Rio.
Yeah.
And then they
convincingly.
And nearly flawless in stage 2 within South America itself. So very... I mean,
it's just been an ugly day for them. I mean, one thing is, like, we spoke about this in the early matchup. They're not really playing as tight together. The timings are not really super clean. That's one thing. Another is they're not hitting their shots. And it's like a team that is known to literally always hit their shots.
Yeah, this is meant to be the roster where any of the 5 players could be fragging out like crazy.
Yeah.
But no, not to be today.
And I really want to praise Shopify Rebellion for that last round. They understood when they had to swing and when they had to just prone the floor. They sat still for the better 2 minutes or so, maybe over 2 minutes, and the second Fury approached the bomb site, boom, swing together, boom, take this gunfight.
So 2 rounds deep. How many kills does Fury have so far?
Well, they have 1.
1 kill in 2 rounds.
They almost took down Rex in the last round. Almost.
The closest no cigar.
So what we can deduct from this is that Surf is throwing. He's the sole death. Absolutely throw behavior from Surf right now. Not keeping up on the tally.
That's a dream start for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, it is.
And now they move on to that tertiary bomb site cache CCTV, which so often hinges on the Rafters control. With Capital banned, it should be a little bit more doable here for Shopify on the defense, but they still have to contend with that Monty. We've got Gridlock, we've got a couple of nades as well from KZ.
Yeah.
We've got the Grim.
I mean, no Jaeger, so even one grenade can really move Rexon out of that spot.
You Grim that up and you toss a nade, that should be it. There's no way Rexon survives.
Should be that simple, and especially with Monty with that full-on information. Here we'll see a true test of Furia. With them looking sloppy and not like synced together, if they cannot do the basics of a catwalk clear, that's gonna tell the full story of how bad this is.
I haven't droned this up though. A bit strange. I mean, that could have been a free kill if there was someone rappelling outside the breach.
Yep, or swinging the door.
Or walking in the breach below with Monty.
he's not being supported. I think that Shopify Rebellion's plan here is to let him play to die and then just try and play it in a 4v5 from inside, which is...
Even Rex is a bit confused, I think. Like, hello?
Oh, you're kidding me. He shouldn't be getting any kills. He almost finds a second as well. Felipox has to aim down sides with the Monty. That is not a surefire way to win Rafters control. Very much worth it for Rebellion now.
Yeah. They got a C4, they got 3 toxic babes on the smoke. The timer is taken awfully low, 45 seconds. The first smoke is tossed by a Service in a very safe spot by Radio Door. Now, Muncie can walk in deep, they can try and go for default plant. They got options, but Spot takes down Casey right before they execute.
And Canadian is still down below as well with the Nitro Cell, so the deep is going to have to be the play here for Furia. Nade looking to try and make some more space, but he's taken on down. It's Felipox on the Monty up against the world. He's eliminated. It's another convincing round for the defense. Ambi is firing up. Everyone's happy about that. Canadian, a big smile for him. And it's another day at the office for Super and the boys.
Oh, it is. I mean, again, it's really clean gameplay from Shopify Rebellion. I can't really pick out much that they're doing wrong, but I also can't pick much in fear that they're doing right. I mean, Catwalk clear is messy. Muncie could have died as well going for that ADS pick. JV on the bomb side breach didn't even look for the Catwalk player of Rexon. Rexon just moved from left to right past the breach itself.
I want to know what the hell's going on right now for Furia, because this morning when they played against D+, D+ just played really well.
They did.
Furia didn't play to their best ability, but they played all right. In these first 3 rounds so far, Furia have played absolutely awfully. And Igor, I'm surprised he hasn't called that tactical timeout 3 rounds deep. Just get it over and done with. Clearly, this isn't a strategic thing. This is that the guys are not playing to their normal standards. I don't know if it's mental or if they have a bad
Do you know if they boot camped in Europe? Because I'm thinking jet lag excuse is always good to use, you know? I did see
that's the excuse I'm going to use if I start falling asleep.
Oh, it's jet lag, sorry.
I went to bed at about 9:30 p.m. last night. It's currently 7:30. So
oh, it's almost bedtime, huh?
It's getting a bit late.
Hey, we got this BO1 and 1 more, you can go back to bed.
Yeah. But then there'll still be games going on until about 1 in the morning. I'm gonna miss
You were not working those though. We're not working. We'll wake up and be like, what happened last night?
That's how I feel every morning I wake up.
I will say this, in the current world, it can be hard to keep up with everything that's going on because there's a lot
of siege.
Yep, it certainly is. We have those off seasons where nothing's happening, and then we got the season bing, bang, boom, back to back to back. It really is. So you're eating well if you're Siege Fang right now, depending on which team you're rooting for, obviously, because there's been some interesting results already. And I mean, if you're an NA fan, this one's easy to vote for. But did you really think Shopify Rebellion would start 3-0? I would think that. But here they are, and they're looking good doing it. Furia is still struggling in the kill department. They have doubled their kill tally from 1 to 2, which technically doubling is good, but the numbers are awful. This laser is, I love Denari. Oh,
he's gonna try and nade it.
Is this worth it?
It's only gonna get disabled.
He has a drone in
brief
pocket.
moment though, is it not?
Yeah, 8 seconds. And it reactivates automatically. You can jump in and shoot it, but it's not, I don't know.
That nade is not gonna do anything.
No.
This is weird. What is
just hit it, and then jump in and shoot it.
Jump in. He's not even going to shoot it. He's going to try and take the fight meanwhile. It's about to reactivate and stun him again. Oh, this is very dicey here for Furia. Straight into the crossfire. Herds looking like an absolute fool. The Shopify Rebellion collapse.
Now the laser's back.
Yeah, the laser activates.
And now Philippos
gets
hit by
stunned. Trying to aim down sides.
They're
KZ
both
on
hit
the
by
ash.
it.
He falls. What the hell is going on for Furia right now? Thankfully, Pox and JV between them find picks and make it look perhaps winnable, but they are still trailing behind. Canadian falls back all the way deep into strip, leaving his teammates on the site. And more action from the Denari as JV gets stunned on out.
Free intel. I actually like this play from Troy hiding inside a strip club because a flank can now happen later on for pressure. The only real concern here is if Fury push the bomb site quickly and find 1 or 2 picks, because Canadian cannot be the last alive going for a flank. But there's info, there's trap information, and now it's another laser, the 4th laser going off this round. The 4th! And they knew it was there, they didn't shoot it.
All right, Troy, finish him off. Bonk. There we go. 4 rounds in a row for Shopify Rebellion. The tactical timeout finally called, presumably by Furia.
And it's time for Seth to get in the ears of the boys. I think it's going to be a very different tactical timeout to what we heard from them previously.
Like losers.
What has Igor got to say to get these guys back?
He's
into
praying.
this?
Look, he's praying right now. These guys, can we please, please?
Fair enough. Very valid at the moment because they have played like absolute arse in the last 4 rounds.
I feel like Igor right now is being very very, what should I say, firm hand with them, you know, and I feel like that might be the right approach because they're probably already a bit tilted. If you're gonna be aggressive, guys, not good enough, what are we doing? It might just fully spiral you. It's like, guys, remember what we practiced, what we talked about. I know today sucks, we're out of it. Let's make the best effort that we can do.
Yeah.
What we saw outside the gym window, the first nade just goes completely wide. The second nade burns the laser. You jump in, you don't destroy the laser. So when your teammates jumped in 10 seconds later, they got hit by it. So it's just this, again, small things that shouldn't be happening that Furia have never made these kinds of mistakes before, and it continues to happen.
I will say, I think Furia have some of the best aura with their fist bumps. Like the way Igor goes for that.
Yeah.
Slapping down
I mean,
on that fist.
with all the grand finals and whatnot they've played, they got good experience. They had more experience in 2 years than some pro players had in 10. Well, the vast majority, in fact.
So grand final loss in Montreal,
Yep.
grand final loss in Boston,
Yeah.
grand final win in Copenhagen, Atlanta, Sao Paulo, and Rio. That's a lot of grand finals. That's got to be some of the most grand finals of any players.
Yeah.
And it was all 5 of these players for all but one of those in Montreal. Philippe, Pox, and Nade weren't there.
Yeah. It is literally a more successful 1 year run that one count like your top ones.
Even than your old G2 Penta team.
Yeah. Like, they won less events, but more, like, they won the majors, won the Pro League finals, like, different contrast there.
Yeah.
We played more events, and then the argument is, like, every season a new meta, 2 new operators, 1 new map, like, that thing. But they won in the same meta as, by far, the best team. So it's a different way of doing it really well.
And yet it's funny because the nature of their playstyle, where it's very aggressive, it's very confidence-based, it's very it's about, firstly, having good individual players, and secondly, them working together well as a unit. It's not that they have the best pocket strats or anything like that. It's not like they're the smartest team. They are just the most cohesive team. So as soon as individual players start looking a bit silly, like Herds outside the gym window last round, or as soon as the players look a bit disjointed, that's your whole team.
Exactly.
The premise of this roster is dead.
Yeah, and that's why it's so impressive when they were as good as they were, because they didn't play a consistent team playstyle.
It wasn't the Glaz meta.
It wasn't the Glaz
meta. Ying meta.
No, it was like, we're just better meta right now. But they were better every day for 12 months.
Yeah.
No one does that. We've seen so many teams win a single tournament and then get, like, relegated practically. These guys would win a tournament and go, you know what, we want one more. You know what, we want one more. And just keep going.
I'd be very surprised to see them taken down even just 0-2 at the start of Swiss here.
It would be a huge upset.
Biggest upset. I mean, you ask most people at this event who their favorites for the tournament were, and they would be saying Furia. With Furia, maybe FaZe, maybe Falcons, or Secret. But yeah, I think Furia definitely would have taken that ticket.
This is it. Come on, boys. Like, tag timeout, down 0-4. You got nothing to lose right now, right? You can do the craziest thing, the highest risk play. You can go back to basics, like just some life. And I love the fact that Shopify Rebellion, after a tag timeout, they play Clash. They're saying, screw you, essentially. We're going to be annoying. We're going to slow you down. We're not going to give you any space for free. And still, Tilder hits the teammate.
That is frustrating. That's also the last Selma, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
JV has none remaining. You're not going to get a breach here.
They can't get the wall. I mean, they can maverick it now, but it's these small things, right? It was like, oh. And there's 50 seconds left. They're not even by the bomb side pressure yet, and they still have Clash to deal with.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I think Shopify Rebellion read, okay, well, they're taking the tactical timeout. They're probably going to play slow and steady to try and execute the vision of the plan. And that means when push comes to shove, not a lot of seconds on the clock, you have to deal with the Clash. Here comes Canadian on for a flank.
Yes, no
very aggressive Clash. Thankfully, Rexon is there to support. But aggressive into the side. Rexon finds his double. Pox and KZ now. With that Clash still to deal with, both of them are in the site. KZ might be able to deal a bit of damage to this Clash. Might be able to suppress him for a brief moment. Perhaps enough to help Pox get that plant down. Pox now staring that Clash in the face. Canadian down below might be able to deny the plant vertically. Indeed, he will. He'll see Pox.
Oh my god.
Pox quickly gets off it, but Rexon, the quad, taking out KZ. Philippe Pox is a dead man walking, and the round is done. Shopify Rebellion, 5 rounds straight over Furia.
This is just precise, calculated gameplay from Shopify Rebellion. Again, I cannot make a single complaint. As long as they just do what their baseline is, what their strat is from prep phase, I think they'll be fine, because Furia can't break anything apart.
JV looks like he's about to cry. Philippos
I
as
would
well.
be too.
Dude, what is going on with these guys?
They double jumped in master bedroom window.
Oh,
like,
man.
and then they both flew to connector. They saw the assignment of Rexon. Then they both look away. And Rexon goes, "Broop," 1 kill. All the guys looking the wrong way as well. "Broop," 2nd kill. And Rexon goes, "Mental boom." Like, what are they doing?
I mean, what, 9 months ago, Furia 7-0'd Shopify on Cafe at Boston at the 6 Invitational. And, wow, how roles have reversed here.
Also, there's been a lot of talk the last... Going back to Dark Zero for Canadian, where he's like, oh, he's on the in-tree, he's on the lurk role, he's flanking, right?
Yeah.
Canadian has been really good so far. That previous round, he flanks at the perfect time from bottom red staircase, and then he realizes the flank, a little bit risky, they're not attacking cash because Rexon got those kills. I'm going to go vertical below, despite not having a C4, and play off the clash information. He's on the stop the plant the first time with a shotgun. It's really, like, Canadian spots in the map, and the foresight has been really good, where some people have been a bit judgmental saying, why is Canadian roaming? Why is he entering? He's always dying first.
He's the old man.
He's the old man.
Give that license to a younger player.
Yeah, but honestly, the way it's been showcasing so far, granted Furia is having a bit of a stinker, has been really excellent.
I'm impressed by Rebellion. That said, this game does have an asterisk, which is that Furia are now playing 10% of their normal game right now. And that's the real question mark for me. What is it that's going on that's making Furia play such poor Siege? Boom. This is a team that is not known to be inconsistent. I would say Shopify Rebellion are actually a team where sometimes they'll look insane, sometimes they'll get destroyed, sometimes things will break down.
Ooh, we'll take here Russia with this. They can't control the kills.
Like this. I very much like this.
Oh,
Yoshiki Izami is spotted. Nate wants to take down Rexon, but he's taking down a hell of a lot of damage. Finally, he's finished off by JV, coming in from the garage door. Canadian down below exposed, but he's confident that he can take these fights with the SMG-11. Could this be the first round on the board for Furia? Surf tries to hold down the fort on site. He's facing an onslaught of Furia players. As the Brazilians march on forward, the cross just barely goes by, and Herds finally gets off the donut and into the server. Canadian, the old man, in a 1v4.
Goya fire on the door. They're all waiting and watching. They knew he was below earlier. He gets one, though. Still has to stall for time.
He's got options, thanks for this wall being open, but Herds takes him down. It's not a fist pump of victory, but a sigh of relief for the Brazilians. Finally, a round has been found, and we swap onto their defensive side.
Good news is that defense can only go better, first of all. But also, now, instead of counterplay and figuring out what your opponent is doing, you just do the paperwork. And that's all you gotta do. You know your positions, you know what the win conditions are, and looking at Furious gameplay, this should much more favor them. But they're down 1-5 still. And I mean, that was a pocket strat. Raora off top red door, smoke it, Blitz pushing catwalk, gun behind them, guy on Garrett's door. They 3v1 the catwalk player who has no support, and Shopify Rebellion, importantly enough, they double reinforced the catwalk walls. They could not help each other. So it was a free one, and then they won their gunfights. Great. But Shopify Rebellion, they just need 2 rounds.
That they do. For Furia, though, it's about getting their heads back in the game. And we talked a lot about what they're known for, right? Which is good individual play and good team chemistry.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that they were doing absolutely terribly. So what did they do after that tactical timeout? I mean, well, they lost the round, but in the final round of the half, what did they do? What was their last idea? And it was, okay, change things up.
Yeah.
We can't play to our strengths, so let's play to something that's not really our strength, but maybe it'll get us back on the right track, which is doing a set play, doing a strat, like you said.
And I think a simplified one as well. Like, it wasn't like this grand thing, 5 billion things happening. It was Raora off, smoke, push. It was a simple set play that you can't really mess up.
Totally. Because Furia, their playstyle is that really complex, loose, aggressive, we're pushing a little bit of everywhere, we're playing off our individual skill. That is, like, as soon as you're not having your confidence, like that's when you can't do that playstyle at all. Simplify things, build that confidence back up. And on their defense, it's much more likely they'll be able to feel more themselves. Like you said, you can just do the paperwork, do your setup, make Shopify Rebellion make the first move.
I like the Frost here. This is definitely a bit off pace. And this is to fortify the fast pushes, the shield jump-ins on the upstairs row from this basement floor defense. Canadian was hovering between some operators, the Muncie, the Blitz, the Blackbeard, settled on the BB and the end of the day. Get those frag grenades, get a good gun, and get in that building, Troy, when you're ready. And they got good drones. By taking bar first, if you can just jump in here for free, despite the gym hatch being open, that's a bit of a scare. That means you can cut off the middle of the map. That means there's less waves of Fury back towards the bomb site. You can now go hunting for those roamers or hit the bomb site and catch them on the way back. Shopify Rebellion, despite their good drone information, doesn't want to take the play just yet because they do recognize gym hatch is open and there is a player up above and it's too risky to gamble the 50-50.
Oh. There are still 3 players on that top floor for Furia. So Rebellion will look to take control of the ground floor, but as soon as they do that, Furia don't have an escape. But Rebellion are going to need to use all of their players to go for that push. This is nice from Canadian. Look at JV falling back to site. He's now got the read. He's got the call. Wow, Canadian's actually going to try and take that fight. Spoit comes in and secures the kill.
Like that.
There's 3 players still on that top floor for Furia, leaving Nade all alone on this bomb site.
They know at least 2 players were roaming earlier because one was Jim Hatch and was Master Bedroom, so they should know. Here's the back B push. One goes down, no BB alone.
Oh, this is perfect. The impact grenade might be able to get the job done.
Oh, Nade
with the pistol. And so Nade is the sole player on the bomb site. He holds it down like a fortress as Hertz comes in to support against Ambi as well. And now, Shopify, they tried the rug pull and instead they lost their footing. They have stumbled 2v4 as Furia finally find a bit of confidence on this defensive side. Good kill from Rexon. He's hit double digits. He's hungry for more.
Nade is 1 point of health. They got fire and smoke and surf on that kitchen hatch. And more importantly, Fury have a player stuck in dirt tunnel. If Shopify Rebellion know about this, it's effectively a 2v2, as that dirt door is not a nice place to be. You can be very stuck in that position. It looks to me like there is no intel here for the attackers. They're worried about the flank, they're worried about the side. Smoke, fire, and try your best.
Ooh, the fire's good though, and the smoke is going to cut off some of these key lines of sight.
C4.
Might be able to drop Nitro Cell over the top, but it misses from Philippox. And Surf finds his pick on KZ. Nade is still low. Rexon's got to recollect that diffuser. Is he going to give it over to Surf to try and cover it? He's going to take out the default cam at 90 hallway. He still doesn't know where these players are, and his only teammate has gone down 1v2 for Rexon. Nade's still low. He knows where Pox is. He knows where Nade is. He just needs to land the shots, but Philippox will stand tall. Furia. They've stopped the bleeding, and they start to make this comeback happen.
Valiant effort in the 2v3 though, almost makes the clutch a reality, but at the end of the day, Furia, they woke up, they took the fights, and they came out victorious. Nade is the sole reason why they are not against match point 1-6. That 2-piece earlier on and staying alive for as long as he did, literally won them the round. It's a bit of a clutch though. Again, consistency. Can you do this and replicate that kind of playstyle or that performance every single round? That's my big question, because you shouldn't be able to.
Well, Furia would have lost in regulation in their game earlier today if JV hadn't clutched a 1 versus 3.
Also true.
It's the classic Furia, individual players having monster rounds.
KC 0-6. We spoke about the fact that we have not cast a donut game in a while. I mean, this could be a 1-6 with Casey being 0-7.
I also feel like of all of the really like frag-heavy players on Furia that we talked about, Herds, KZ, JV tend to be like the three.
Yeah.
KZ to me feels like the most consistent.
I would say so.
JV is a player who he can go double digits or he can kind of not be one of the core fraggers because he does fall into that more flex role compared to KZ and Herds. And Herds is very hot and cold.
Yes.
Great player, but like, let's be honest, that guy...
But that's his role, right? That's fine.
It's the nature of it, right? KZ, though, he's meant to be your rock. He's meant to be Mr. Consistent for the team. Very unusual to see him on the donut.
Just has to find the first one, and the rest will follow surely. But that first one, you don't have that much time to find it right now. Good sir. So he goes fishing, looking for more, playing this catwalk position. We saw Rexon always trade himself 1-to-1 in this particular spot. And going 1-for-1, you know, you die, but he takes somebody back with you, is a great value. He's just dead.
KZ.
He's literally just dead like that. A pre-fire from Canadian from outside the building. He had no idea what hit him. That's a dirty shot from Troy.
And he's meant to be holding on to rafters as long as he can.
Yeah.
Try and delay and fall back towards the site, but no impact whatsoever from KZ. And his utility, of course, it's gone. You know, regenerating keeper barriers, he's not going to get to put all of them down.
I'm curious here if Shopify Billion don't just rush Garage and take control because they think a second player might be there, or because they know they can't retake it from the defenders. Courage goes down as well, and with the clash up, you only have 2 guns effectively.
So Jova here for Furia in this round. How do they bring it back? That from Filippo certainly won't hurt. Goodbye to Canadian. He'd already used all his util. And now Surf looks to get aggressive. Oh, the spray through the wall. It's almost a good read. Filippox!
The Grim Beast.
What's wrong with your headset? You would have heard him spraying through the wall just a moment prior, and yet he does not peek. Nade now on the clash, revealed by the bees from Grim. Him and JV. They're not together, but they are going to have to clutch this 2 versus 4.
They have 1 frag grenade to clear this shield. That's really it. They got the Grim Beast information game, but they know exactly where he is. A punch hole. Careful. Nade on 1 point of health now. Very much stuck in this position.
About to get naded out. No, somehow
shield
the
lives.
shield does survive. Very low on HP. That's a big kill, but traded back. It's an exchange that Shopify Rebellion are happy to accept. JV's had a 1v3 today. He's going to need another. Otherwise, it's Rebellion on match point.
This position, though, so many ways to cover. 2 windows, Condor, Office as well. And JV has to pick his fights very carefully and smartly and try to isolate. There's some damage, but MB's there. He's watching it. He covers his teammates back and gets the 6th round for Shopify Rebellion. They are now on match point.
Yeah. And the young team is looking sharp today. The whole squad stepped up for Shopify Rebellion. And the big question that we always ask about this roster is, I mean, they are quite star-studded. They have plenty of accolades. The individuals on this roster. Ambi, one of the most sought-after young players in North America. Of course, Canadian, both major and world champion, multi-time world champion, Spoit world champion. And once upon a time, he was the most coveted talent in the world when he first turned 18. Won a major in his debut stage of playing Siege.
Yep.
I mean, this roster on paper has everything that you could want to be a world-class contending team, and yet they haven't been. Time after time, ever since this roster has formed, they've bailed out of tournaments early. They've
not qualified for tournaments as well.
Or not qualified for tournaments.
And that's been my big question, because when this roster was formed, I was like, this is like the NA super team, if you will. I really rated them highly, yeah. And the story has always been, can they meet expectations? And they haven't yet.
Very rarely do they. I mean, for some reason, it tends to be Space Station out of all the NA teams that goes deepest in events. And even now, obviously, M80 with their new look roster is looking very strong at the moment. Shopify Rebellion, very much the not so much talked about. You know, as opposed to Wildcard, who are pure underdogs, you can't argue that Rebellion are underdogs because of the caliber of their players. But where are the results to go with it? Nowhere to be seen.
They're working on it right now, James. And a 7-3 score against Furia. If they can get this round, or 7-2, should I say, yeah. That would definitely be a statement match. And in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, no one's going to go back and say, Furia didn't play well, that's why they won. All you remember is the results, you know, and that they beat Furia.
For sure. On the flip side of that, if Furia come back here...
Oh, boy.
And to lose from disadvantage for Rebellion, that would be
They lost from 6-3 up before, literally a few hours ago.
That they did, yes.
That they did. Can happen again.
Against the
All it takes, honestly, is KZ to get a kill. Like, he's 0-7. Like, they're playing 4v5 on the server right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is Furia's biggest strength. They're so aggressive and versatile in the server with gun skill. They're not playing in a fair 5v5 just yet. This is not the full strength at all.
No, but Herds goes down. The other inconsistent player, it's to Spoit. Not sure where that was, actually.
Keep our position.
JV's in the pivotal position here on the rafters. He doesn't have any catch to support him. He's actually doing a very similar hold to what Shopify did.
Yeah.
Fully reinforced wall into sight.
Barrier deployed.
No Wamai, no Jaeger. He's just playing to delay as much time as he can and then die.
Yeah.
Reloading.
The fire to Capital, the grenade as well, that's got to do the work. No catch. They kind of missed the right-hand side here by Catwalk 1, and he's got a safe passage.
Oh, he's going to spot one player, takes him on down. Big kill on the Spoit, but Surf will reply from outside the breach. The question remains, when will KZ find his way into this game? When will he find a couple of kills? He's playing Yeah, he's got to, but he's playing very far back. A double up on the red stairs is a very strange choice. They're assuming that Shopify Rebellion are going to try and move up from down in lounge.
I mean, they got numbers advantage. They can push side, catwalk, reach, and up the staircase. Even go for a flank on Con if they wanted to. There's no C4 in play. 2 toxic waves, 1 toss top, making 1 single lift in pocket. They don't have plant denial. Shopify Rebellion can just wait now for 20 seconds, go for a default plan, and force them to just take the gunfights. They don't have to make the play.
In they go. It's Canadian marching on forward. Ambi's found his pick. Canadian with the diffuser will die. Ambi finds a second. Rexon comes in to seal the deal for Shopify Rebellion. And the Panthers are toothless today in Munich. The North Americans upset the Brazilian powerhouse and look to redeem higher attacking win rate than Weibo do, but they also have a higher defensive win rate that we're not seeing
by far, because he already killed Adrian. So you're thinking to yourself,
to go off script.
Yeah.
Which creates a desync, and which means there is no trades, and that's something that happened consistently on border against
1-1 and 2-0 games tomorrow.
Been through a bit of strife. They got upset by EP itself. They had to go for a lower bracket run, and a lot of their games went the distance 3 maps. Of course, they were playing until 3 in the morning in Australia to knock out the Chiefs and qualify for their spot here.
2 world records happened that day. Longest ever ongoing Siege event ever, like broadcast hours.
Broadcast.
And latest ever qualification match at a local time zone. 3 a.m. qualification.
It's insane.
Yep. And the funny thing is, that day went so far and so long that the games afterwards, everyone is like, screw this.
Yeah.
Like, we're so tired.
Genuinely.
I mean, they tried their best, but they couldn't only give half, 50%.
Yeah, I mean, well, Weibo, their first match on that day at PAX was at 10 in the morning.
10 a.m.
And Chiefs, who lost that qualification match, their first game was at 9 a.m. And then, of course, it finished eventually at 3 in the morning. So Weibo, look, they've got grit, they've got determination, and they have endurance. Nobody can question that. But can they match the Brazilian firepower of this new look NIP roster?
About to find out. Weibo on the attack. They bend out the Kaid in the mirror. NIP, they respond with both the Ying and the Monty. 2 ops that are commonly played by the aggressive squad of Weibo. Both to cause a bit of chaos in the server in the Ying, and to stabilize and getting those roam queues and plants down in the Monty. So I like this kind of hitting you on both sides here. Weibo, they're a team that can do a bit of everything, I would say. They can do your fast plays, your slow plays, do funky Apex stuff, do pretty normal stuff on the regions. They got Meepy and Gohan as support staff behind them, so a lot of experience between those 2 guys from different regions.
Well, that is a very important point to make. Weibo actually have made some changes recently.
true.
There was quite a big shuffle. You know, historically it's been Meepy who's been the head coach for this team, and Mentalist who has been the assistant coach. Recently, Gohan came in. He took the head coach role away from Meepy. Meepy has moved into an assistant coach role. Mentalist, I believe, is more of an analyst, manager, assistance type role. So quite a significant shape up in terms of how the behind the scenes looks here for Weibo. And we're still waiting to find out how that translates into game. Not a good result against EP this morning. Time to redeem themselves as they start to work on breaching into the site.
Yeah, impact trick though. Cons falls off the table and gets shut down by Ape watching that exact same angle. The second summit goes down to confirm that wall opening for the plant later on. Meanwhile, Reaps tapping away past the red ping, just holding the enemies far away.
Hoven is just waiting, biding his time. He's taking control of bathroom, which is usually quite challenging to do. And he still has 1 nade to utilize here, as the Blackbeard is tempted to make his way forward.
Just go for a plant here. They're waiting on the toxic babes and Pino, so I guess they're getting stalled out. Also got the Shanker to worry about. So perhaps default plant is no longer possible, but they got that numbers advantage. When they want to, a 3-2-1 push on in is very possible.
Pino's in the pivotal position. SMG-11 in hand, but the Glad's going to take him down. Big pick from Speakeasy. Hoven on the Blackbeard as well from Bathroom. Makes good on his nade. Haters has gone down, and Fantasy eliminated. Big round from Speakeasy on the Glaz. A big triple kill. And finally, a smile from Uppe. He has looked glum all day. I've seen him walking around the venue. That is the first smile I've seen from him. And the APAC boys kick things off looking very nice in the opening round of Lair.
A lot of time we're like, oh, Reaps is so good, but Speakeasy in recent history has been phenomenal.
Dude, Speakeasy is that guy.
He is that guy right now.
He is that guy.
He's like the APAC League effect. And I say that in the best of ways, right? He's IGLing, stratting, counter-stratting, he's the vibe guy, he's the flex player, he does it all. He's literally the highest value member right now in like almost every category for his team.
My driller Speakeasy has been taking names and making upsets since 2019 in Tokoname when he, with Aerolf, upset the European first seed team Giants and made it to the semifinals. The first time I think we've seen an APAC team do that in a very long time at that point. First time we'd seen them upset a European team like that as well. Well, Norengo
19 SI and Vitality or something?
No. Oh, that was in group stage.
Oh, it was in group stage.
Group stage. Well, technically, Norengo did make top 4 at SI 19, but they beat Fnatic to get there, so it kind of doesn't count.
Oh, so they beat an EU team to go into top 8, then beat
and then
Fnatic
beat an APAC team, and then the exact same thing happened the other way around at Milan. Fnatic beat Norengo to make top 4, but it's like, well, you're just beating an APAC team. So I think it was one of the first times we'd actually seen an APAC team beat a non-APAC team on the main stage. And of course, Speakeasy was there for it. That was 6 years ago now, by the way. He's gone from being the young gunner at the time to now being the IGL of his roster.
And now it's the tables. You know, when you turn like early 20s, time for thermite duty, heart breaching, droning. But then we start seeing this kind of new trend where the old guard becomes the flex players because they got that experience to do very many things. Turns his young gunner though, he walks in, takes on Fantasy, he was the spearhead of the old Fury roster, being one of the star players in the region from an individual performance point of view. Now starting off 0-2 in NIP against Weibo. Oi. If only he knew.
Oh, Hoven, come on, this is a free kill. Surely he finds it, and he does. Cons will fall, and with that, NIP are trailing behind by 2 players. How do you get your way back into this one? I mean, we all know the only way to win a 3v5 is to get more aggressive. Weibo know that as well. They are going to read into it. And they are going to hold their ground. Turdstar, big kill for him. Wizard steps up and trades back. 2v4.
It's very individual aggression here from NIP. I mean, they could have swung together, but instead Solo Bolo, the recall goes wild, and Wizard goes down. Pino in a 1v4 with 2 attackers low in health, maybe possible, but hard.
Oh my god.
He's getting flash spammed.
This is just cheeky from Hoven. He continues to abuse him, and now he's figured out exactly where Pino's gone. A nade to go on out. Pino will find the kill. Low HP, 1v3. Diffuser planted. Sees up A for a brief moment. It will fall on back.
Running.
Sprinting through the barbed wire. But meanwhile, that plant has been confirmed, and Reaps has got the hallway cut. It's a very early NIP tactical timeout.
You saw Mimi was locked in. Okay, microphone time. Okay, get it down there. Make the most of it. Who's the current coach of NIP? I don't recognize him.
So I've got it as Dan.
D-A-N? Dan?
D-A-N.
Oh,
Dan.
You know you also have Bob?
Yes, well they have Bob. Yeah, they have. Bob is here. I saw Bob.
I know, I saw him the first day.
He's more the manager.
So they have Bob and they have Dan. That's like the least Brazilian name I can think of.
Well, it's funny because my database that I like track all the players and stuff, it doesn't like that there's Dan, a Brazilian coach, and Dan, a Russian player.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's...
I don't know Dan. What's his story? Do you know? Where does he come from?
Let me have a look.
So,
Daniel Maciel de Souza.
Okay. De Souza.
Very Brazilian name.
I like that.
So, before this, he was the analyst for NIP from the start of 2024. So he would have joined just around the last time that NIP made it to an international event as part of the main circuit, which was Sao Paulo. Prior to that, he was coach for Cade Stars, Magic Squad, Boo Boo, Golden Kids. So been around in the scene since 2020 in Brazil, but for the kind of the mid-pack pro teams that very rarely, if ever, make it to international events.
I was maybe bottom pack even, but yeah. Like Keatstar, at least one of the rosters was, I'm going to say it, awful. Then they had a second iteration that was better, but yeah. They had a bad stage.
Why are you hating on Keatstar?
No, I'm just saying, I worked Brazil at that time at Parker, I believe. And when we worked Keatstar, I'm sorry, but that was brutal. They've gotten better since then. I'm not sure if they're on anymore, but they had a great stage and they had an also great stage.
Yeah.
10 seconds
Well, NIP, of course, have made their fair share of roster changes. It was after Boston, actually, that they brought on Wizard, formerly played with Los.
Yes.
And that was when Psycho left. Prior to Dan, it was T-Chubbs. Remember that? Chubbs?
No.
I don't know how you say his name. I've only ever seen it. I'll get it up on Wikipedia for you.
Give me a photo. I'm a face guy.
You're a face guy?
Yeah, like a face person. I'm so bad with names.
Here we go. Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, we know who that is.
T-Chubbs.
T-Chubbs. He was for the longest time the coach of this roster.
Yeah.
He's actually coaching SSG at the moment, according to these notes. But I guess we wouldn't see him much.
Oh, yeah, because he's called out behind the boys, yeah.
Yeah, it's call out behind the boys. But yeah, apparently T-Chubbs is working with SSG at the moment.
The more you know. There are some interesting changes.
Since just after Reload, actually, this year.
Okay. Cool beans. First Scopos today, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
Damn.
We got our first Denari in our last session.
And funnily enough, I think that was probably the most impactful Denari that I've ever seen.
Maybe due to lack of effort from Furia.
Because Furia sucked at dealing
Denari
with
is
it.
so good when you don't try and deal with it.
Well, let's have a look. Weibo are getting in and aggressive. Nice opening kill from Ape. Straight on into the objective. It's an utter annihilation of NIP.
Bye-bye,
Scopos is certainly going to have to get back into the site because, well, NIP have both of their players on this roam and the diffuser has been planted down below.
I'm not buying what NIP they're selling right now on the defense. It's not looking all that pretty and they're going to be locked on the staircase, 2 players.
NIP are not selling anything. They're giving it away for free. Turdster has obliterated them. It's a beautiful read and a great rush from Weibo Gaming, who are really starting to style on their opponents. What was it that the social vote was again?
65 in favor of
In
NIP.
favor of who's winning at the moment?
Not NIP.
And what did I say?
You said it was unfair?
I think I said it's APAC time, boys! It's friggin' APAC time today for Weibo and the lads.
When I said Weibo likes Lair, I was like, I don't care what NIP stats on it. I know Weibo, they know the game.
NIP in 6-1 on this map.
Sure, but
it's
not against
pretty
Weibo.
damn good.
Not against The thing is, I feel like we're kind of back in an era where APAC is not as bad as people think. Like, because APAC will always be
Get this guy on the APL for 2 stages
And then
hear him become an APAC simp like the rest of us.
Hey, they fly me to Melbourne for the first time in my life. I'll support the cause.
All right, finish your point, mate.
Okay.
Come on.
My point is, we saw D+ earlier take down Furia. Yes, a weakened Furia, but they're playing the APAC craziness, but with much more coordination because they're getting supporting coaches from outside. You got Gohan, you got Bibi helping Weibo, for example, right? You have the mixture of Brazilian players playing in APAC where they're adopting the playstyle.
It's the meta right now. In fact, funnily enough, the only APAC team at this event that has an APAC coach is D+, who have a Brazilian roster.
Players, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I mean, well, technically, Enterprise has Mingo, but I mean, I was going to say that's not, like, Mingo isn't from OS.
Exactly, it's just separate.
So it's still a form of an import in a way.
Yeah. So no, I also feel like what APAC historically has struggled with is adapting to the new meta because they're slower. They have full-time jobs, some of these players, right? So they're not going to play as often and as much, and there's less competition domestically. So when the meta changes, they fall behind for longer. The meta in the last 2 years has remained somewhat similar. There was a shield meta change-up, that was a big one to me.
Yeah.
And they have caught on, and they're doing really well doing this.
Yeah.
So no, I feel like you cannot underestimate APAC. It used to be that maybe CHE you couldn't underestimate. It's like most, if not all teams.
Definitely. And you know, for a lot of events now, we've seen teams like Enterprise and Weibo. You know, typically it's the OS teams and the Southeast Asian teams that are more likely to get first rounded, even if they are really good teams. It's just something that happens once they hit these international events. EP taking out Weibo, they've guaranteed they're not getting first rounded. Weibo looking in solid stead right now. They're making a surefire case for why they will have a deeper run here in the group stage at the Major. And Holvin, on the back of his gas, or rather smoke, is making his way on forward.
Also, mind you, right now this action is happening. NIP banned the Nomad so they can open up the Clash pick, but it leaves up open all these strong operators you see right now. The Glass, the Blackbeard, the Ying, the Grim and the Capital.
Perfect.
The flank downstairs shut down by Reeves. Perfect read. The Glass above, hold the pixel angle. They find a second.
And that's your 2 top players from NIP taken out early. Another 5 versus 3 advantage for the APAC roster. Wizard low HP. I mean, Reaps has been taken low, but he's done his job. He's forced the players on site to move, applying that vertical pressure.
Only problem now could be the Clash, but they got a Capital Fire, they got buff downstairs, the smokes on the glass, so plenty of counter utility here. And they got so much time to work with, over a full minute still on the clock. Got info on the Clash, the BBs. There they go, they're gonna walk on in.
Reaps finally finished off, but so's Cons. Pino's the last one standing. They know exactly where he is, and Speakeasy will run him down. Weibo are dominating here on Lair, round after round, 4-0 over NIP.
It does not feel fair. These gunfights are 3 attackers against 1 defender, every single one of them. And I feel like it's actually down to NIP to make a change. They are sitting, waiting for Weibo to make the first move, and they will brute force it because they got all these strong operators. You banned the Nomad. I'm like, okay, this is excellent to enable the Clash play, but what about the other operators? How are you going to counter the glass? No Warden? Okay, that's a problem, right? How are you going to deal with Capital, Balk below, no roaming, no extension? It feels like to me NIP have kind of missed the mark on the prep work, perhaps, of what they want to do that should be successful, and Weibo are playing their own game, as they should.
You kind of almost have to insta-lock Warden every round.
You should.
Because of Weibo, what they've shown they can do with that glass. They've also shown that they can do a lot with the Blackbeard as well. And what are you doing to counter that? You bring your Clash to try and counter Blackbeard? It's not working.
5 seconds remaining.
Nope. You can keep switching up bomb sites, and we've tried 3 different bomb sites. We've tried top floor, we've tried Bunk's briefing, we've tried basement. We're going back to Bunk's briefing now for the second time.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Yeah,
we
really
need to see team aggression. We need to see NIP saying, hey, make a play on me, 2v1.
If you ban Nomad, you better hope that you're getting aggressive.
It feels a little bit like the Furia game, where you're playing 1v3 and you think it's fine, but it's not fine because you're playing 1v3. You got up. Oh, that great shot. Fantasy's first kill. Individual heroics, no teammate support. But he finally lands his shot. That should slow down Weibo for now.
I do feel like that was a little bit egregious from Hoven. You've got a Blackbeard, you're not marching in behind him.
But you're up 4-0.
Sure.
You know, skip some corners.
You may as well just like let them back into the game, I guess.
Yeah,
let's
an impact trick on the exterior wall. The downside of playing the ace is that you're very prone to the impact tricking.
Yeah.
And they got impact grenades, so...
Grishmod in pocket for Fantasy. Perhaps this is the way that NIP are planning to counter the Blackbeard. Remember, the bomb site is down on the ground floor, so this is just an extension. He can fall back. Out goes an impact grenade. He's about to feel a hell of a lot of pressure, and he is. Reeves will swing on inside. Well,
no one helps him. They're right there, and no one helps him. They're right around the corner. They could have swung this double door right here and had a 2v1. Or a 2v2.
NIP are not playing together. They're letting Weibo fight these numbers advantages. And Weibo is now breaching into server as well. It's only a matter of time before the next player from NIP will fall or drop back to site, as Cons has just done.
Sticking on for now, though. Taking a fair bit of damage. The second player falls below, leaving Pino alone upstairs now. Wizard is not too far away, but again, these hallways will be like isolated gunfights. There's the BB.
Here we go.
Oh, what could have been?
We need Wizard to have a little bit of support. It's so hard to take that 1v1 against Speakeasy, and he will fall.
Oh my god.
Help. Speakeasy finds one, and Wizard is completely obliterated. Pino will redeem the team with 2 kills with the SMG-11, and with Turtster on the ground, it's all up to Speakeasy on the Blackbeard to clutch for Weibo.
Has to get the revive, and will do so. Pino has the greed for this kill. He's low in health. The one bullet, he's going to be done and dusted, but he has that shield, that cover. BB information. The cover is there. Now 2v1 with BB alive, full info. Drone in pocket of turrets. That 20 seconds. This is anybody's round.
10 seconds ago, it was a 2v1 for NIP, and it has flipped. But Turster goes down to the third. Speakeasy has to clutch up against Cons as the Blackbeard marches his way forward, but Cons clutches up for the ninjas in pajamas, and the Brazilians are finally on the scoreboard.
All the way down to a 1v1. It was looking so good on the opening from Fantasy. Then we're thinking, where's the support backup? Okay, then they bring it back to numbers advantage, but then Pino loses his individual gunfight. A very much swing back and forth of a round, but it does give them a little bit of a fighting chance. Lair it's a weird one to me. I feel like it can be attacker favorite, it can be attacker or defender favorite. Depends on the specific matchup. Weibo are excellent on the attacker player. That much we know. With how NIP are playing on defense, not supporting each other, I do fear for their upcoming attacks after this round, however.
I mean, Weibo, they're good on their attack, right? They win 42% of their attacks on there, typically. They win 70% of their defenses. On
70?
70%. And
it's over.
Also, like, NIP win 81% of their defenses on this map, and that's out of 67 rounds. That is a large sample size.
Okay. And their attacks?
Their attacks are 56%.
Okay.
So still, like, pretty good. In fact, they have a higher attacking win rate than Weibo do, but they also have a higher defensive win rate that we're not seeing by far. Yeah, by substantially. I mean, 80% win rate on defense is utterly insane. That means you're probably often expecting a 5-1 half on
That's
your
in
defense.
Brazil, by the way. There's no easy, you know, really, really easy free teams down there.
No, and there's a lot of extremely hard teams.
Yeah. That's very impressive, that's damn sure, but we're not seeing it right now. That, or Weibo, or just those guys, and as I say that, Turret takes down Cons, like, who just clutched the round for his team. Poor Cons.
Yeah, it's his army gone as well. Goodbye to all that regenerative util. Oh, it's an aggressive pick as well, just from the
Dennis did it last
window.
round. Same spot from different player. Like, you're expecting that aggression because it literally happened 3 minutes ago.
I mean, it's disrespectful to not predict Weibo are going to understand. You do the same thing twice. I mean, what's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Weibo are not going to fall for the same thing again.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
That's Einstein, isn't it?
That is Einstein. That's what the quote says. I wasn't there when he said it though, so I don't know for sure. Oh, whoa,
Brother.
We're griefing! We're griefing!
Brother!
Hello!
Ape!
He's just smiling.
You just killed Speakeasy. I mean, that is Weibo in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Martin's always got a smile. He's always got something to laugh about.
He literally is so calm. Like, when we had that crazy long day where they played 24/7, he was just like out of his mind. Like, he was like, ha ha ha.
Do you remember when we said, are you having fun? Who's having fun in this game? Who's having the most fun today?
Me.
Yeah, Speakeasy jumped up and down. Dude was probably jet lagged after getting off the plane from Singapore as well. It's not a short flight from Singapore to Melbourne.
It is not.
Certainly not a short flight from Singapore to Munich, or from Indonesia to Munich, where Ape and Hoven have just arrived from this morning.
He's 8-1 for Speakeasy, and we'll have to deal with half health and 1 O's shield in pocket. Those Panther batteries have been dealt with vertically with that grenade. Good use of util from Reaps below.
This is cheeky from
But
Hates.
yeah, this is working now. 60 seconds, and this looks like a free plant attempt, but they're baiting it. A pre-ripped C4, just waiting for the right timing, and I don't think Weibo has any inkling that this is gonna happen. And they can't quite use the Reap trackers below because, well, they're mute jammers.
Hates is not in a mute jammer though, so if they know to scan him, there's actually 3 C4s still up, so I have no idea how they're going to get this plant down.
Only one can reach. Like, you have to be where Hates is or closer. You can't throw it that far, so he's the one to make the play, but then once he uses his, they could just rotate a second player there, right? So, oh, the window.
Oh, what is that?
They read that?
Fantasy. There must have been a drone on that position.
Comes to C4. Wait for it. The second the plant goes down, it's going to happen.
Pre-ripped it, won't make any sound. Hates, throws it out. It's going to take down 1. 2 players of Weibo eliminated. But the trade comes through thick and fast. Hoven also nades himself out. But Turnster, he's got the cover. Oh! Falls as well. Reaps straight back off the diffuser to find the final kill. It's a dominating 5-1 half. And Hoven is having the time of his life. He naded himself, and all he's going to do is laugh about it.
Classic Weibo from start to finish in that one. And I gotta say, very cold way to finish it because Reeves is like, okay, 10 seconds left. I can't risk going for kills because my teammate of Turret is in the other hallway. He can't get down that diffuser. So I'm gonna sprint back, turn my back to the opponents, go for a plant attempt. Tursta flanks the server hall, finds the first player, and then he makes the call. He's pushing you. And instead of trusting the cover, which you probably would in most cases, Reeps gets off the plant and makes the 1v1 into a 2v1. Again, these small gunfights where you can leverage man advantage, Weibo are significantly better than NIP. Because I don't see NIP taking 2v1s. Weibo do it every single time. So good. So precise. And like, the comms for Reeps to understand what's happening and the chaos of that round as well. I mean, if you stick the plant and lose the gunfight, you lose the round. This could have been a 6-0. This should have been a 6-0, actually.
Well, we haven't seen any 7-0s yet, have we?
We have
seen
not.
Some very close results that almost ended up as 7-0.
We've seen a donut.
Have we? Did we?
Casey never got the kill.
Did Casey
He
never
was
get a
0-8.
kill?
No, he never got the kill.
Brother. As if, I mean, if we were playing this like bingo game, or, you know, wagering who, if any player in the tournament is going to be the first to get a donut, Casey would be like the 5 least likely to get a donut.
He wouldn't even make it. If you had to guess, like, which is the player that would never drop a donut, Casey makes that list of never dropping a donut.
100%.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, it happened.
And it did. We also seen Furia go 0-2. We've seen big upsets. We've seen SSG taken out by Wildcard. Plenty of upsets in the tournament so far.
I love it. It's a good time to be a fan of Siege. Although it's a bad time for predictions because they, it's so over already.
Look, if you guys are there sitting on your channel points thinking about who to pick for the next game, just whoever everyone else is going against. That's the one to pick.
Well, there's also the predictions form on Ubisoft's website.
Oh,
the
true.
Pickings.
And that's all locked, isn't it?
Exactly. That got locked, I think, maybe yesterday.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit here and go, oh boy.
Sorry, boys.
Absolutely.
You meant to shoot the drone, too. There we go.
He's getting there. give him some second. It's his first round on defense. He's got to warm up the defender guns now, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, MP7's only on 0, and no one's playing 0, so...
MP7 is a lovely gun.
It's great. It's great iron sight, which means you're immune to EMPs, because it takes away the holoscope. Yeah, great gun overall, can't complain. Same with Nomad iron sight.
Yes.
On the ARK, also works.
ARX?
Sorry, yeah, ARX.
That's alright.
So you do know Siege?
I know Siege.
Okay.
Actually, one of my mates I used to queue with, he played Nomad every round with the iron sight.
Oh, so Chaiko.
Yeah, I
kind of face like that.
I guess
I know, but yeah.
Alright, NIP attacking onto Master Officer. You're going to have to deal with Speakeasy's Tachenko pretty soon, and especially for cons, you really don't want to get caught up in all that. I mean, as soon as you get hit by the fire, the guard break activates, and you can really delay there's a guard break. You can delay so much time in this hallway with the Tachenko.
I think the Shanka can do like a total of like 90 seconds combined, I think.
That's unreal. I mean,
and then
60 seconds
you need to get to the building and to the bomb site before it starts, right? So you can really lock things out. And I think using Tachenka in this way, just like continue to shoot and fire in the hallway, is quite underrated. Oh, Reeves just finds a vertical pick onto Hayes, who's the fuck, by the way. The reversal vertical just gets the kill.
Oh, well, as a great man once said, those holes work both ways.
Yep.
NIP are trying to do the exact same thing that we saw Weibo do, and it's not working for them.
Nope, it's less explosive. And again, they lost the vert. Reeves found that kill themselves before on the flank. The red pings comes out, the fire as well, but Speakeasy stays alive.
Good nade from Fantasy though, and Wizard does replace that box position and find the kill vertically on a Speakeasy. The Tachenko goes down, and the Blackbeard is still alive. Cons will be the linchpin of this attack for NIP.
Only 1C4, and it's on Ape. I mean, this is actually very winnable, but time is slipping away.
Oh, the vert.
Oh, not like this.
It's a critical kill, but Reach fights back, as does Ape. Pino's gone down. The Blackbeard is no more. Fantasy and Wizard have to erupt into the bomb site, and Fantasy loses his fight. Wizard in a 1v3, he finds absolutely nothing. And it's a match point. Grabbed out of thin air by Weibo Gaming.
Every single fight, besides the vertical ones, have been 2v1s. I mean, those last 2 kills are beautifully observed. We see NIP goes for a swing, 2 players. 1 crouched, 1 standing. Who do I shoot? I know you're dead. And then the second player, same angle, same thing. 2 players watching. It's phenomenal at how consistent Weibo can do this and how NIP are failing to match them in numbers. You need to fight the 2v2 if you have the numbers even. Otherwise, you're supposed to lose those every single time.
I cannot believe NIP are on the verge of getting 7-1'd by Weibo.
On there. When statistically, NIP, you're a hype. I'm saying they're so good. They have a 4-game win streak. They got 80% defensive win rate. 1-5 half.
In the last 6 months, these guys have only lost it once out of 7 times they played it, and that was a 7-8 loss, so only by 1 round, to Team Liquid. They've beaten teams like FaZe Clan and Los on this map. They 7-1'd FaZe a month ago on Lair.
Okay.
Like, how the hell is that happening? And like, you look at the stats, right? I mean, 56% attack win rate, 81% defensive win rate. It's their second favorite map. It gets banned against them constantly.
Yeah, 14 times.
Yeah. It is
Okay.
crazy to see NIP going down, especially not in this fashion. And, you know, what's more, of course, earlier today, NIP had an unfortunate loss. I'm trying to remember, who did they...
W7?
Yes, I think it was W7.
I want to say.
I
think
wrote,
it was a
I
domestic
wrote
matchup.
in my notes that they lost to NIP, so...
Oh, well, that's not accurate.
No, it was W7, and I've just double-checked.
Oh, yeah. But I will always excuse a Brazil v Brazil matchup because like they know each other so well. But then you look at NIP in this matchup, and I'm like, okay, it's an NIP issue. Like it's actually an NIP issue.
Definitely. Not to say that Weibo are playing poorly.
They are playing well.
They're playing very
They are
good.
playing very well. You cannot take that away from them. Fantasy, who I was hyping up earlier, is only got now 1 early kill on Ella. That was it. Now he's 1-7. Weibo are just kind of roaming freely. Don't get me called, Damo Striker, a lot of pressure on Gadgetry, but they're not really moving forward. They're gonna move backwards outside the building to go on a different entry point.
Alright, well. Deuce.